All right, everyone. Thanks again for tuning in and holding tight as usual. Running a little bit late. I'm about 12 minutes late. Usually I'm about 20 to 30 minutes late. So this isn't too bad this time. And great to see everybody in the chat. Let me take a look here. We have, first off, I want to thank, as always, my main moderator, Ramina El Despetar. Thanks so much, Ramina Hun, for all your help behind the scenes. Always doing fantastic work, and I appreciate that immensely. I also want to thank David Bernhard in France, great supporter on Patreon, and I appreciate you so very much, brother, for all your contributions and help and support. He's been a supporter for the longest time in France. I appreciate that so very much. I also want to thank Charlie Girl in Spain, who put up a video on BitChute helping out promoting this live stream. So hopefully I'll see you all in there in the chat, and I appreciate everybody so very much. And let's take a look before we even get started. As always, I'm always looking at the chat and seeing who's here. And I see Roxanne asked me, will you in South Florida? Great to see you in there. She says greetings. I see Carol. Hey RV, let me actually click on some of these. And there we go. There's Roxanne right there. And I see Carol. She goes, hey, RV. And I see bushwhacking history in Buffalo. Definitely, we will get on the topic of Buffalo. Definitely, in my estimation, Buffalo 2022 going into this year, 2023, basically the year of the Buffalo. And it goes on, it continues. And like I mentioned earlier, El Despertar Ramina, thanks so much for the heart, for the love. I appreciate that so very much. Back at you once again. I see also Paul Griff. He says, evening all. Great to see you in there, Mike D. He says, hello, everyone. Big Lou. Big Lou in Tampa. Great to see you in there, brother. Fantastic. And another great supporter of the channel is Charlie. 35th like. Thanks for that, brother. I appreciate that. And let's see what else we got in here. Yeah, as far as the Rockfin, there's just too many issues, and that's the unfortunate. I like Rockfin, but just too many issues streaming there. The chat goes out, my Wi-Fi goes out. It's just too much trouble, unfortunately. Because I actually like Rockfin, um, for what it stands for, but if I'm having all these disruptions, it's very annoying and it's very hard to even try to upload videos there. That's the unfortunate thing. It's just it's simple as that. I just had it last time. I mean, literally every time I go live there, there's issues. So that's why I basically just upload videos there. And even then, like I said, uploading videos is a challenge. So that's just the unfortunate aspect when it comes to Rockfin. And let's see who else here. Erica Harden. And she says, blessings, everyone. And blessings back at you, Erica. Another great supporter of the channel for the longest time. And I see Svetoslav in Bulgaria. I wasn't quite sure where you were located. He says, greetings from Bulgaria once again. And thanks so much, Svetoslav, for tuning in. Yeah, I can read Russian, well, you call it Bulgarian, different dialects, talking about the Slavic languages. There's a lot of words that are very similar. The text very similar. Some are a bit different, like Croatian, in Bulgaria as well. There's a lot of similarities with the language. Let's see what else we got here. And, very fantastic. Charlie Girl, blessings to you as well. I'm not sure if you just joined in or you've been here for a while, but I want to thank you so very much for putting that video clip advertising this live stream on BitChute. I appreciate that so very much. Thank you for that. And I used to see, good to see you in there with the mustache, the very nostalgic Civil War era type mustache. Great to see you in there, and always great to see Barry Duncan in New Zealand. Greens from New Zealand. A clear blue sky today, first day in several weeks. Yeah, great to see you in there once again, Barry. Great support of the channel, and I appreciate that so very much. And yeah, thanks again, Charlie Girl. I appreciate that. And Aleko, great to see you in there, brother, with the messages as always, and potpourri of information and different stuff, but good stuff, brother. I appreciate that so very much. All right, let's see what we got here. Dale Knight, blessings from Southern Ohio. Great to see you in there. And Brian, great to see you in there as well. Frank Sessler in Australia. Fantastic, brother. I appreciate you very much helping share my work. We'll get into that aspect. I definitely want to pause here for a second and speak about this. People like Frank Censored has shared my work and always links back to me, gives credit, and I appreciate that. I have an issue here with an individual basically taking my work, uploading it, and basically people are saying, "Oh, great work, you're doing fantastic work," and he just says thanks. He doesn't give credit, no credit backlinks. When people say you do great work, he just says thank you, I appreciate it, but doesn't. And it's basically my work, my videos, and I don't appreciate that. You could take people are free to take my work, but please, I spend a lot of time and effort, with research, putting videos together, and I mean, it's just common sense. Say, hey, I appreciate the kind of words, but this isn't my work. This is a re-upload from, They Live Truth, or something along those lines. To take credit for someone else's work it doesn't set well for me. And again, people could take my work all they want, pass it around. I have no problems with that. But taking credit for someone else's work, no, that's not acceptable. That's unacceptable, 100%. We'll get more of that later on. I hate to even bring that up, but yeah, the amount of time and effort and energy, unless people actually take the time to make videos and all the time and effort it goes into it, it's like this, it's like someone making food, spending hours, making food, and you take that food and you give it to someone else and say, well, you make that's a fantastic pie or or cake or whatever they're making. And to take credit for someone else's work is just not right. So I'll say that for later. Just wanted to mention that, because I do appreciate those that are passing on my work. It just has to be done properly. That's simple. It's just common sense. It shouldn't even need to be mentioned, but I'm definitely going to, again, go into detail about that later on. Yeah, Frank, I know that, Frank, and I appreciate that. That's all you need to do. Just say, don't even need to go into great lengths. Just say, hey, just a link to the original creator. That's it. Or, if someone says, like you mentioned, someone say, hey, great work. Just say, hey, this is from so and so. That's all you have to do. It's not that hard. Yes, Frank, 100%, 100%, and yeah, Charlie Girl understands that. And let's see what we got here. And 76 Mark, I appreciate that, brother. You're always on my Facebook page, and I appreciate that, brother, so very much, sharing the work. And definitely, I do not want to discourage people from that. I want people to share the work, specifically when it's uploaded to other people's channels. If you're going to re-upload, that's what I'm getting at. And I see here, Jim, 5745 from Greece. God bless you. God bless you as well, brother. Thanks for tuning in. I appreciate it so very much. Yeah, Ryan, 100%. He goes, hey, family, truth will prevail. all that is dark will be brought to light 100%, because light always drowns out the darkness, of course. And my fantastic brother Bobby Zins in the UK, I appreciate you, brother. He's been a tremendous help on Rockfin, and talk to him on Skype. Just a really, really great dude and very helpful. Takes a lot of time and effort and energy. Putting up graphics, helping me out, and just technical things behind the scenes. I appreciate that, brother, so very much. And definitely, you could drop a link there, Bobby, to your channel. It's well deserved, and I appreciate you on Twitter as well, so very much. Yeah, and Charlie Girl says, I'm, flat out truth Facebook group, many new ones, bolsters is, yeah, like I said, I mean, I don't mind, people taking, it's like this, it's like, when you do studies in school and you take a little bit of this and a little bit of that, but when basically you're taking someone's, all their stuff and then claiming as your own, or basically not really tell them the truth and say, hey, this is not my work. I have an issue with that. But taking bits and pieces, not really such a big deal, and I mean, definitely if someone took my video and added their own commentary, then that's just fair use. That's not a problem. But just taking someone's stuff and, it's, yeah. And, I don't want to keep going that direction, but definitely we'll get more of that later on. Yeah, Jeff, definitely. This is going to be, will be more about Demar or D Ram Hamlin. I already made a video on that, Jeff, but definitely I'm going to go into more detail about that when we get to the share screen. There's more information to share, and listen. Once I provide the information, there's going to be no doubt whatsoever what down was part of the world stage, and yeah, they're, like I said, they're controlling every aspect, and definitely what people are really, in truth, have to really grasp and understand is a huge aspect is the entertainment aspect. Obviously, we know Hollywood, the music industry, but sports is huge when it comes to distract. Obviously, it's a huge part of the matrix, and definitely they're going to have their hands in everything. They're not going to leave things to chance. So that's definitely a huge aspect when it comes to pro sports. And I'll definitely get more into Demar Hamlin as we move forward. Thanks, Charlie. I appreciate that, Charlie Girl, very much. And my great brother there in the UK, David Jones, great support for the longest time as well. Good evening, RV and Ramina. I appreciate that, brother, so very much. Yeah, Mike, I sure have. Mike S. He said, "Have you seen Richie from Boston on Inside Edition?" Yeah, he's been on Inside Edition. He's been on a news story in New England and Boston, to be precise. So yeah, he finds his way on the mainstream, and yeah, he's just the right place, right time. Actually, I had a text with Richie from Boston a few days ago, and later on, I'm sure we'll see Richie on the channel. And listen, I want to be perfectly clear about this. Richie and I, obviously, has been a guest on my channel many times in the past. What Richie says is what Richie says. What he does is what he does. What I do is what I do. We're both in the truth. We both get along great, but we're not going to agree on everything. I'm sure things I say at times, Richie's like, I don't agree with that, and vice versa. Obviously, we're on the same page with most things. We're not going to agree on everything, so I can't be held accountable for everything Richie from Boston says or does. Same thing applies for Richie. Don't ask Richie, what I say, and hey, They Live True said this. What do you think about that? I'm my own person. Richie's his own person as well. So I had issues with individuals confronting me about what Richie has said or done. I'm like, why don't you speak to him? I have nothing to do with Richie's decisions and what he decides to do. You need to talk to him about that. I'm not here to ask Richie, hey, people are saying this, this, and this. You want to respond to that. Richie has a channel. Go ask Richie why he's on Inside Edition or whatever he believes or whatever he says. I'm not responsible for Richie, you know. But we do get along great. Here's the honest truth: Richie and I have not always seen eye to eye, and that's been public, over the years. But we always work things out. We always work things out. We had a couple of disagreements, going way back. But that's how Richie and I are. We might disagree on something, and we put it past us, and we move forward. And I'll just put it like that. But obviously, anybody that's watched Richie's videos and my videos will know we're not on the same page with every single thing. On the broad spectrum, we are, but not everything. And he'll say that, obviously, and I'm saying it now. So please, let's be clear about that, as far as that's concerned. But um, again, regarding Richard from Boston, he should be making an appearance. I don't know. I don't have. It hasn't been set in stone, but at some point, Richie will be on the channel for a live stream, and I appreciate Richie so very much for doing that and sharing his perspective. His perspective. Again, if we agree or not, it's his perspective. Absolutely, Barry. He's a flat earther. He's a Bible believer, and the guy can talk. You can talk better than pretty much anybody as far as truth is concerned. The guy can talk, and has been around for a very long time. So yeah, and I always intensely enjoy talking to Richie, and enjoy our live streams together. Yeah, that's the thing is, flat out, there's people on Richie's channel that might not care for me. So, everybody has their favorites, and maybe not so much their favorites as well. That's just part of it, that's part of it. Yeah, I understand that. I understand what I saw that everybody's aware about that. And yeah, and Richie has, if anybody's watched our live stream on Rockfin, or maybe he mentioned it on here on YouTube, but basically, he no longer associates with ODD TV, and that I'll make that perfectly clear. But yeah, there's no denying that 100%. Jack Burton, great to see you in there. Yeah, there's a lot of nonsense going on. We're going to get to it as well. Definitely, we're going to get to it once again, some people don't like it that I spend a lot of time talking to people in the chat before I get to the information. That's the way I run my channel. Every live stream. Many people in truth do live streams and they just get to the information and they don't even really correspond too much at all with the chat. And to me, I just, I think it's like ignoring people when I do that. When I see a bunch of people ask me questions, or I see people in the chat saying hi, and I just ignore it, I don't feel right about that because again, without all of you here, I don't have a live stream. I'll be talking talking to myself. So, and so obviously a lot of these channels they'll just they'll have that chat going on. They'll just read out super chats. Well, I read out as many people as possible. Super chat or no super chat, I'm gonna shout you out. So that's how I do it. Yeah, Barry, 100%. I love the interaction. I love the interaction with everybody here. And again, I've done this many times. After the stream's concluded, I'll take the screen share part, the screen share aspect, and I'll present it separately. So people that don't want the interaction, don't want to hear the interaction after the fact, well, they can just watch that aspect of the screen share. Yeah, right. I like I said, I enjoy it as well. I enjoy it as well, and I appreciate all of you being here. Like I said, awesome, Carl. I appreciate that. Yeah, I appreciate that, and Yeah, Richie, like I said, has been around for a while, and definitely, has done a lot of work in, you know, biblically flat Earth, and he shares my work, he shares my stream, and I greatly appreciate that. I'll, I can never thank Richie enough. He had over half a million subscribers and sharing my work. How can I say, anything bad about him when he's promoting my work? Absolutely not. I'm not. You're not going to hear me do that. If I have a disagreement, I'll state it, but I'm not going to, you know, do that after he's been very helpful to me. And Ben, great to see you in there. Also on Twitter, he says, "Good day, uh, Jay. First a live show. Great to be here. Great, glad you're here, brother. Glad you're here, and thanks so much also for being a follower there on Twitter as well. Thanks, thanks for that. Well, I appreciate that. Another one that's been around for the longest time, and great to see you in there, Sarah Connor. Yeah. Oh, who do you think it is? Absolutely. And let's see here. Yeah, that's funny. And I'm gonna pause here momentarily. Charlie Girl about planet, of course, planes and planet. I was recently at a local hardware store called Lowe's, and some individual walked up to me, an older man. He said he was about 78. He said, and we're talking about a lot of different topics, and the flat Earth was mentioned. And I was explaining to him about perspective and how flat Earth works. And this guy, oh my goodness, he's so lost. He talks about how he reads books and how he's educated from reading books. I'm like, I told him, I said, if those books don't, match our reality, they're useless. You know that, right? If you're talking about science and those books don't match our reality, you could throw them out the window. And he didn't like that, of course, because he's invested, and he claimed to be a scientist. That's the funny thing is he claimed to be a scientist, but didn't know the radius of the ball earth, didn't know much about the ball earth at all. And this is the most embarrassing aspect. I mentioned the heliocentric model. He said he was a scientist. He told me he was a scientist. When I mentioned the heliocentric model, he goes, "What's that?" He didn't know what heliocentric was. I'd explained to him. Helio is the sun, centric means center, where the sun's the center. And he felt and looked very silly. He just was very embarrassed, and I was embarrassed for him. But that's what you're dealing with in this world where people just, they're just taking things out of textbooks and repeating things that they're told. And when you're that person, that's what's going to happen. And he tried to build himself back up, and and after walking away, because he tried to down flat Earth, but he didn't know anything about his own model, like all these ball earthers. And I said, yeah, I find it hilarious. People like you believe that people could walk upside down in the bottom of the ball Earth, the bottom of Antarctica. And I started laughing really loud, and he just walked away. It was the walk of shame. And yeah, and he deserved it. Even though he's an old dude, I felt bad for him. But I'm like thinking, wow, this deceived world we're living in, and this is typical. This is very typical. But I keep my calm. I stick to the information, and yeah, he was lost, basically dazed and confused, and he didn't know what hit him. And yeah, like I said, I don't take pleasure in that, but he came off as very like condescending, like how I can. He goes, "You don't believe people walked in the moon? Are you?" And I said, "Did you ever see the interview with Buzz Aldrin, that little girl, asking him why hasn't anybody been to the moon in such a long time?" And Buzz Aldrin basically says, uh, "It's because we've never been there, and that's the way it happened." And I basically explained to him. I said, "What you see on TV is your reality, and when you don't see things like that, that's why you come to these false conclusions that you do. You're not getting the full spectrum of information, and that's why you come to this false conclusion based on many things." Yeah, our heart. Yeah, hopefully, definitely, hopefully, he will give it some thought. But he walked away like a dog with the tail between the legs type of thing. He just wasn't didn't sit well with him because, like I said, I don't take great pleasure in it. But he walked away like humbled, very humbled, and yeah, that's basically it's a it's a hard learning lesson for him, especially when he said he's a scientist. He didn't know what the heliocentric model. He didn't even know what that meant, and that's not the first time I mentioned the heliocentric model to someone that has a master's degree, and he asked me the same thing. This guy had a master's degree, and he asked me, "What does heliocentric mean?" So that just tells you what we're dealing with here, for sure. Yeah, build it, brother. I appreciate that. I appreciate that so much. God bless you, brother. Been another great supporter for the longest time, and I appreciate the support for the longest time. Strong believer in the Bible, and yeah, great, 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 brother. Let's see here. And oh, I see my good brother here. Yeah, Jason 410. You're not kidding, brother. And we'll get more of that with the zombie aspect of things. Definitely, we're gonna hit upon the zombie part of things, and that's going to be saved for the screen share. We'll get into that a little bit later on. And great to see you in there. I see you. Let's see here. A lot of people here, and I appreciate that. I see. Let me see. Isabella M. Great to see you in there. I see. Pro Pagan Destroyer. Great to see you in there, brother. Been around for a very long time as well. Haven't seen you around a while. Great to see you in there, for sure. And let's see here. The Flat Earth Warriors, great to see you in there, brother. Also, a very good channel to subscribe to. Definitely puts up great content on his channel. Definitely subscribe to him. A priest told me a astronaut was his neighbor. I'm flat off. Oh, that's hilarious. And great to see you in there, PJC Net. Great to see you in there very much. Appreciated you stopping by, been a supporter. I know you're located in the UK. Great to have you staying up late and listening into the stream. Definitely, we're going to get to some information with the screen share later on. So just hold tight. Hopefully, we'll get in there in about 15 or 20 minutes time. Let's see here. What else we have here? Let's see here. Andrew Munchkin, great to see you in there. Another great supporter of the channel. Thanks so much for being here. Indiana as well. Appreciate that. RV, thanks for all you do. Keep us on our toes. Absolutely. It's a lot to screen share. So I want to get to it pretty soon because I've been going on for almost 30 minutes, but definitely don't want to miss anybody, before I can't maybe shout out everybody, but as many people as possible. And if I miss you this time, I'll try to do it the next time. And let's see what we got here. And Mike, yes, great to see that I found RV Flat Earth vid searching Antarctica. Definitely moving forward, I'm going to put up some more videos on Antarctica, not just Antarctica, but the Arctic as well, because there's a lot of people in Flat Earth focusing on Antarctica, which is important. But I think the Arctic, that's equally as important, and definitely moving forward, I'm going to touch upon that. And Chris Dugan in the UK, he goes, "Hi from the UK. Love to all. What happened? Yeah, we got to be careful with that. Can't even go there, brother, unfortunately." And my great brother here, Plain Stevie, goes, "RV is the man, best truth channel on the tube." I appreciate that, Plain Stevie. Always have my back. And yeah, we'll get into that a little bit later on, what went down. But Plain Stevie's always had my back on live streams. And, here's the thing is, people doubt me. Here's the thing is, the best way to put it is look at people's history, long term. Have they been consistent? Have they flip flopped? And that's the best way to determine what you're dealing with. Here's the best way to put it. My experience over the years as being someone involved with truth for, for a very long time, well over a decade, going back to, on YouTube, 2008, 2009, putting up content. This is the best way I can summarize it. There's people that find my channel, people that like my information. There's those that stay loyal and stay good to me, like my brother in the UK, Plain Stevie. There's ones that feel like they hit a plateau. They think over time they obtain all the information they can from me, and it's like, it's like someone teaching you a trade or a skill, and once they get that information from you, they no longer need you anymore, and now they get a little bit bold, a little bit cocky, and they change. And that's what I've seen. People that have been around for a while, again, they think they've learned everything they can from me, and now they become just basically users of information, just here to take the information and run with it. Now they no longer need me. And that's what I've come across. There's not too many. Most people are good, but there's a few of those people out there as well. They're not here for me. They're here for the information solely and what they can take. They're just takers, users, and that's the unfortunate aspect I've dealt with. Absolutely. PJCnet, there's always new events and new information to cover. But the reality is this too. A lot of what they're doing, the people that are running the show, a lot of it's different people in different situations, but it's basically they're running the same story, just with different people. And that's what I've seen as well over the years. So, but then again, moving forward, there's been new things, obviously, as well. But a lot of it is rehash with what they pulled off on the world stage, for sure. Yeah, that's how it is. That's basically, not always, but there's been a few individuals that are not grateful, at all. Well, Scotty, you've been around for a while too, Scotty Warren. I appreciate that. Speaking of Antarctica, that is, there are a lot of people who believe the actual dome itself. I was wondering if you can elaborate on what you believe the dome is actually made of, and if anything is beyond. I've covered this years ago, and I'll make a video. I'm going to do a video presentation on it again. And basically, I believe it's the hardest substance known to man, and that's diamond. There's songs on regarding that. There's jewelry where they call it, like, for example, the diamond firmament necklace. And I don't want to spoil too much, but I've covered it before. But basically, I believe it's diamond that the firmament's made out of. So this is one aspect I believe. I don't believe, obviously, if the firmament is made out of diamond, the hardest substance known to man and women, obviously it's not rare. So it's the duality aspect where it's pushed as a precious rare stone when it's really above us. And I'm gonna put more information. I'd already covered it years ago, but I'm gonna do a new video presentation on that. Of course, diamonds in the sky, the songs, "Loosing the Sky with Diamonds." So definitely we'll get to that aspect more. And as far as what's beyond, um, I said it before. I don't believe, there's. I believe what the Bible says. There's ends to the earth. I don't think there's anything beyond the firm besides water in the heavens above. I believe we're living in Atlantis. Like I said, the space shuttle Atlantis is a little clue of what we're dealing with when you again have space shuttles take off and do that huge arc, because the space shuttle is within Atlantis. So why would they name it Atlantis? That's because that's what we're dealing with the shuttles going in, obviously, into the Bermuda Triangle off the coast of Florida. So yeah, I mean, that's what it comes down to. That's what it comes down to. And a lot of people joining in. Johnny Blaze, another great supporter. Appreciate that. RV number one. Appreciate that so very much, brother. And not to, again, I'm being asked more about diamonds, John Man here. As far as diamonds, yeah, I mean, even if through the past video presentations for those that've seen it, they basically even admit, you know, diamonds come from the sky. So when you dig for diamonds, they're basically admitting they're not created from Earth. They fall from quote meteors, falling stars. Um, when they hunt for diamonds in South Africa, they look at the coastlines. That's a very um, that's the place they look, and basically it's because they're shooting from the sky. They're coming from the sky, and for some reason, that region, a lot of Africa is known as the region where a lot of diamonds and diamond mines. And basically, there's a lot of confusion about diamonds and amber. So, not to go on too long about this because I want to save it for the video, but I spoke, of course, myself being Russian descent, I speak with Russian people. Some, I was born here, but I speak with people from Russia that came from Russia to the U.S. and different topics are brought up. And this one Russian lady had a amber necklace, and I told her it comes from trees. She goes, "No, it comes from the ocean." I said, "No, it's formed from tree sap. And how do you think insects get trapped in amber, like mosquitoes get trapped in tar? Not tar, but the sap. I call it tar, but it's like tar. So basically, if you look online, you look up insects trapped in amber, and that's because it's not obviously happening in the bottom of the ocean. It's happening thousands of years ago, where there's parts of this world that had forests, had trees, where these insects got stuck in the sap of the trees, which later basically fossilized and turned into amber. So she was very confused on this, and she thought it was formed in the bottom of the ocean. I'm like, no. How did the mosquitoes and other insects get trapped in it? So not to go on too long about that, but there's a lot of confusion about these type of things. And great to see you in there, Anatako. Always good to see you there in the chat. Yeah, exactly, Barry. The prism, the rainbow reflection. But so like I said, it's the duality world where they're telling us diamonds are rare, but diamonds are above us. Diamonds in the sky, like I said. Also, it's a very long presentation I made where this is off topic, but it's relevant. Where pyramids are not what people think. Pyramids are basically diamonds in the sand. The three Egyptian pyramids. I mean, you look at the schematics, whatever you want to call it, the diagrams of the tombs underneath the pyramid. Basically, the top portion is the as above, so below. So basically, a pyramid is a diamond in the sand. That's the best way, and I go into great detail about that in my past video. So in this world, nothing's what it seems, and that's reality. Yeah, 100%, and that's really, I'm going to touch upon it again. I already covered it, but I'm going to go to more detail. The jewelry's stores. I mean, I'm kind of spoiling the video a little bit, but that's okay. But there's so many jewelry websites where there's the firmament necklace, the firmament this, the sapphire and diamond necklace. Well, sapphire is 33 and diamond is 33. So I'm going to stop there because I want to save it for the video. Well, actually, I already made a video on it, but I'm going to make another one. But it's been many years since I made that video. Yeah, Charlie, that's another topic I've covered. I'm kind of spoiling it again here, but that's okay. You guys can see the imagery about it. So you have Mount Hermon, and this is the general location where it is believed that the fallen angels were dropped the Nephilim were basically thrown to earth, the fallen angels that mated with female humans that created giants. So in the grand scheme of things, Mount Hermon is in the vicinity where you have the Baalbek temple in Lebanon, where you have these superstructures, these giant megalith stones. So it correlates where you have giants in that area that built these enormous temples with huge entrances. So it all correlates. And like I said, that was going to be for another video, but that's okay. I'm putting it out there. Little spoiler, but they'll be in video presentations for the future. No worries. Yeah, we've been going on for 40 minutes. We got to get to it, but I definitely want to thank everybody for joining. And I'm going to just, fantastic to see. Shield of Sugar 68. Always fantastic to see you in there, sister. I appreciate it. Thanks for the love. Back at you. Thanks so much for tuning in. Yeah, Pumpkin Pip, 100%. What I present is basically undeniable. There's no denying, what NASA's doing is complete fakery. And the huge aspect is, what about other countries? And that's the important aspect of showing the ESA. And, for anybody that's missed my last video, where you had the official ESA, the European Space Agency, liking a comment or hearting a comment by someone that says, hey, I love the screw drop. So obviously ESA knows what they're doing. They know what they're doing is basically a bunch of BS. They're not really going to space. They're not doing anything. So everybody that's congratulating them for doing fantastic work are not getting hearts. It's the guy that's smart enough and they're like, hey, I'm going to give you a heart, but you get it. You get it. You get it that this is nonsense that we're doing. So you're the one that's going to get a heart. Everybody that's thanking us, yeah, we don't respect them because we fooled them. And of course, I'm gonna get the NASA fanboys that come in and get all upset that I'm because they're invested into the lie. And again, I don't want to go on too long, but almost 45 minutes now, not screen sharing yet. But I really have to emphasize this regarding truth. So obviously, most everybody here, I would say 99% of people know a lot about truth. From everybody that I've already shouted out earlier, you guys seen the ins and outs of truth from NASA to Hollywood, all these events that have taken place over the years. So you guys grasp what's happening. So you try to introduce any of this to people that have seen none of it. It's too long. It's a very long road. So they have to really embed themselves and really, really, really put themselves deep into truth before they're going to get it. And of course, like most people here in the chat, they denied a lot of the truth that was being presented in the beginning. So it's such a long road to truth, and we have to understand the aspect of yes, in your own mind and your own eyes, you've seen a lot, you experienced a lot in truth. Just obviously expect a lot of pushback, and you guys of course understand. Obviously, that's happening with family and friends, but just don't expect overnight people waking up. You're not gonna wake someone up that's been, that's 40 or 50 years old, and all this information is new to them. The programming is so strong. It's really hard to break through and get them to see that. And the only way they're going to see it is if they're really like, okay, they're open-minded and they really take a look at the information. If they just write it off from the beginning, and I'll give Eddie Bravo a lot of credit. I even though I don't see eye to eye with everything Eddie Bravo says or who he associates with, but I'll give him credit for this statement that he made. If you're dealing with anybody, if you're trying to pass a flat earth truth to anybody, you got to ask them if they believe in the moon landing first. If they believe in the moon landing, you might as well not even start, because if that moon landing, the so-called moon landings are so ridiculous. If they're going to fall for that, it's going to be a tough task to get them aboard flat earth. So you have to basically see where people are at before you even proceed, to flat earth, So that's really, that's really the breaking point, and that's really where you should start, is kind of the fill out process of where they're at on the full spectrum of the world stage that we know it to be. All right, I want to take a look here what is being said here. Well, Doc, I'll tell you this right now. You say in graduate school, my paycheck was funded by NASA. Does that make me a shill? I'm a globe believer. Well, that's the thing, is you're a believer in something that's never been proven to you. You could believe it all you want, but basically, your globe belief is just a belief, and it's a belief in nonsense. And you're going to have to basically start all over from scratch to get it. You got to forget everything you learned basically up to this point and start from square one. And until you do that, it's going to be a road you're not going to pass through, because you're holding onto too many lies. Too many lies. And of course, anybody that's, invested X amount of dollars into education, and to tell them, you've been sold a lemon, it's not going to sit well. And I get it. You're not going to be happy with that, but that's fine, because I've dealt with a lot of so-called educated people. Again, I've spoken to people that have master's degrees, and I mentioned the heliocentric model, and they don't even know what that means. So that tells you all you need to know about the so-called education system. Math is real. Here, he's asking another question. Math is real, but if math does not match the real world, you could throw it out the window. You can have math equations based on the hyperdrive on the Millennium Falcon, but if it's not reality based, then it doesn't mean much. Things you can really measure. So, for example, you can measure the height of a utility pole, a telephone pole. Okay, you can do that, but there's no measuring tape to measure from the surface of the Earth to the sun. Science says they have it mapped out. They have the math down, but no, it's just a bunch of nonsense that we're supposed to take as truth. There's no way for you to independently, verify with your math that the distance of the sun is 92 million miles away. There's no way for you to verify that. It's just you'll repeat what you've been told, and you'll tell me it's true, but there's no way to verify it. Obviously, throughout the years, the distance of the sun has changed from 10 million to 30 million to 60 million. Now it's 92 million. So there you go. All right, I got to get to the screen share pretty soon here, because I've been going on for quite a while. Thanks for that, Jason. I appreciate that. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of, things obviously I can't cover now that I used to cover. So I'm kind of in a position where I'm playing, to what I can put out in this situation. Not like years ago where, on YouTube, you can put out a lot of different topics, and it's not the same anymore, obviously. Black Circle, great to see you in there, brother, in the UK as well. Thanks so much for tuning in. You're always here on my lives, and I appreciate that so very much, brother. And I know it's late in the UK. I need to get to the, like I said, the screen share very soon, because it's going to get very late in the UK, and I haven't got to the information yet. All right. I think we're going to set up the, let me just take a quick peek here. And I'm going to share this. Absolutely, Ramina, El Despotar, Flat Earth Destroys, Luciferian Myths, Big Bang, Evolution, Heliocentrism, Relativity, the so-called theory of relativity, gravity, space-time, outer space. And these are all just concepts like space-time, gravity. The best way to put it, as far as gravity is concerned, you ask people, how does water stick to the bottom of the ball Earth? And they'll, in a very condescending way, they'll say gravity. Then you'll say, explain gravity. And then, oops, they're not so, arrogant and condescending anymore, because now you're put them in a position where they got to explain gravity, which they can't, because it doesn't exist. It's just a word. a made up word, for why, water sticks to the bottom of the so-called ball earth. All right, let's see here. I'm going to just run through this really quickly. Then I really need to get to the stream, to the photo stage. Let me just take a quick peek here real quickly before I do that. And I appreciate everybody here. There's a lot of people here, and every single one of you are greatly appreciated. Even the Globers, I appreciate you all. So let's get to it. Just finishing scrolling, making sure I didn't miss anything. Okay, let's see here. Oh, I missed my brother here. Thanks so much. Arblev, 1999. Always a blessing to catch you live. Thanks so much, brother. This is something I scrolled up and I just caught. So thanks so much for that. And we're going to get to it in a minute. Just bear with me. I'm just scrolling up, making sure. Oh, there's a lot of comments here. Okay, let's get to it here. Let me set this up here. And there's a lot to talk about before I even actually start with the photo stage. I'll just say it right now. Demar Hamlin, Lisa Marie Presley. This is the year of the Buffalo, of course. We'll get into that more. But those are the topics I really want to get into in the world stage. Let's see what else here. Predictive programming, obviously being a huge aspect. And now I'm having problems with my, let me see here. Yeah, you know what? I need to do something. My photo stage has froze. Let me see here. Can I fix that? Hold on. Let me see if that works. Yeah, I'm going to have to restart my photo stage before I get started. So just hold tight, everyone. And I need to get this saved. Let me see. Let me put this down here because it froze up. And I need to restart it before I can even, obviously, start the photo stage sharing aspect. All right, let me get back here. And this is live, so things happen, and I just do my best to deal with it. But here we go. Okay, let me just check one last thing here, then I'll start presenting momentarily. All right, let me check here. We should be good to go in about a minute or so. All right, let's see here. Okay. All right, that looks good. Okay. So I'm going to get right to this feature. Let me remove this. I'm sorry about that. Have to do it. And great to see you in there, Marco, as well. All right. So let's get to the present aspect here. And let me make sure. Okay, there we go. Share screen, and let me get to the proper window. All right, let's see here. All right. All right. And there we go. You guys should see that, and let me know if you don't. I'm going to be taking a look here at the chat. Okay, there we go here. Okay. So this is the big, obviously, topic of discussion, all over the news, and, anything that's headline, it's, I guess a 24/7 cycle. You have a lot of celebrities talking about it. It's the big talk. It's their creation. Because in football, specifically the NFL, there's a lot of things that go down, a lot of things that happen. Players, they go down. This is constant with the NFL. But why is this individual being spotlighted, more than anything? And of course, this is a screenshot from my my video on Demar Hamlin. And, Tom Brady, I showed the aspect of him before covering the right eye in a photo shoot. Obviously, he's in the club, and Demar, no doubt about it, and supposedly a Christian, and of course, doing the horn symbolism. And yeah, for those that watched my video presentation on Demar Hamlin, I'm just going to point out a few things as I shown before. And, again, Tom Brady, huge following, and of course, they're going to get the big names. You have LeBron James involved with this. All the big names in sports and entertainment are involved with this. So this is what I want to show again, like I showed in the video. Okay, let's take a look here at what supposedly went down. And there he is, number 3. So here he is right here, right? Number 3. Now watch as he gets up. And he's going to adjust his helmet. He adjusts his helmet. Let me back that up there. You see that? Like he just pops up like nothing. Okay, let me just do this slowly. Make sure that's showing, by the way. Yeah. So he pops up like nothing. And if you're a little bit like dazed, you wouldn't be doing that. He's very conscious of what he's doing. Again, adjusting his helmet as he gets up. And there he is. And then he takes. Then fell backwards moments later. I don't know if you heard that. The newsman says he fell backwards, doing things in reverse. Hamlin was given CPR. And he just goes down like that. And that's basically the gist of it. And it looks pretty, for the most part, like an innocent type of hit, relatively, when it comes, obviously, to the NFL. That's anybody that's watched it over the years. And of course, I covered this in the video itself, where this is duality. All the players are kneeling on one knee, and you have a guy with the surname Neal with number 33 standing up. So that's the duality aspect, where the man named Neal is standing, and everybody else is kneeling. And as far as the players are concerned. So that gets into, again, what I showed when it comes to, and this is basically represents this depiction with the individual down and everybody kneeling. And again, the aspect basically rounding up the cavalry and getting all the big names involved, Steven Van Zandt, Brett Michaels, everybody's being involved. Of course, they're told to. This is, meant to go down the world stage. And I showed the uncle, supposedly, right after this went down, is being interviewed, and he has the big smile, just happy to make his basically acting debut. That's what it comes down to, it making his acting debut. And he knows deep down, like I said before, the subconscious mind controls the conscious mind in your conscious reactions or unconscious reactions. You just, deep down inside, what's really going on, and your behavior doesn't equate to what's supposedly going down. And that's why you get the big smile. He knows he's making his, his debut appearance. Millions upon millions of people are going to see him, and he's giddy about it. I'm going to be all over the place. People are going to see me. All my fans, friends and family, they're all going to see me. So moving forward here a little bit, like I said, the whole idea of the cross, supposedly a Christian, and he has the cross, the double cross. If you can see, it's a little bit smeared, but you can see the double cross. Like I mentioned before, when it comes to Freemasonry, you have the double cross. As in society, you've been double crossed. So that gets into the aspect moving forward. You see right here, supposedly, cooped up, and you have the dual 33s, and obviously doing the heart symbol. And I mean, basically, he has to have the hat on. I mean, in this situation, you're recovering, you're going to wear the hat, and that's to get the dual 33s. And it's obvious, this is the dual 33s for Masonry. So people that will say, oh, this is a stretch, you take a look here. And if anybody's seen this game, basically the very next game after the opening kickoff, this player here runs for a touchdown. So in the last time the Buffalo Bills this happened was 3 years and 3 months, So, with the NFL, this is obviously, just like, pro wrestling, boxing, these things are meant to go down, no doubt whatsoever. So again, if anybody thinks it's a stretch with the 33s in plain sight, let me get to this aspect here when it comes to Demar. Let me stop this momentarily because I'm going to screen share. And where did it go here? Let me, where is let me see, what is going on here? Let me see here. Okay, here we go. So let me stop that momentarily. And I'm going to put something else up here. And right here. Okay, let's get to it. With Streamer once again, let me get back. to present. And let me stop momentarily and let me present this from Twitter, from Demar's Twitter page. And let me find that first. Okay, here we go. So again, all the information I'm putting out, I'm providing for any doubters. Hold on, everyone. For any doubters of this, let me make sure this is presenting properly before I continue. Okay, there we go. We're there on Twitter. All right. So let's take a look here at Demar Hamlin's official Twitter, and his gimmick, his website is called Chasing Millions. That's his brand, Chasing Millions, and definitely, basically selling out. So let's take a look here at his pinned tweet. He's selling these t-shirts. Did we win? And let's take a look at the link at his shop. And let me make sure this is showing up on the StreamYard side of things, because for each page, I need to do this again here. Let me stop sharing. And I have to reshare it because it doesn't work that way. When you go to a new screen, you gotta start all over again, unfortunately. So let me go here, and here we go. And here's his website. Let me close that one out. And hopefully you guys can see that. Let me double make sure that's showing up. Okay, you guys can see that fine. So what I'm getting at here, look at the t-shirts. So all the 33s I've shown already. By the way, of course, the buffalo is the red and the blue, obviously, for purple, for royalty, and basically Hollywood. So let's take a look at the price of these t-shirts. Oh, what do we see here? And hopefully it's picking up on the StreamYard side. Let me maybe scroll a little bit down more so you guys can see that a little better. And let me make sure it's showing up. Is that showing up? There we go. Let me see if you guys can see that on the StreamYard side. Can you guys see that? It looks a little bit. I'm going to have to zoom in here because I don't think it's showing up very well. Let me zoom in a bit more. And hopefully that's coming in now. All right. You guys see that now? Let me scroll. Let me take a look here. Let me scroll back down. And there you go. Hope you guys can see that good. Let me see here. Is that showing up or not? The streamer is not cooperating like I want it to. Let me see here. Let me go back. Is that even moving? What is going on here? On the StreamYard side, I don't see it moving. Let me see it. Why don't I see it? Let me see. Let me go back to StreamYard. But hopefully you guys can see the dual 33s there. Because I'm on StreamYard, I don't see it. Maybe let me take a look on YouTube. Just hold tight, everyone, because it's not showing up on StreamYard. Yeah, I don't think it's showing up properly. Let me try to fix it. And I apologize for this because this is part of doing it live here. And hopefully it comes in now. Hopefully you guys can see that. And let me scroll down a little bit more. Yeah, it's hard to see, but it's there. The each shirt is $33. That's what it comes down to. Let me see here. Yeah, each shirt is $33. I'm not sure because on my side, yeah, you can see it now. It's kind of hard to see. I'm going to try to zoom in again. I apologize, everyone, for this because I'm trying to get it to show properly, and it's just not cooperating like I want to. On my side, and maybe you guys can see it fine, but on my side, it's not coming. There it goes. I think that's good enough, and I apologize once again for that. Yeah, okay, but now you should see the dual 33s on the shirt. Okay, thanks, Frank, for confirming that. But you guys can see that now. Let me zoom in maybe even a tad more. And let me see if I can get a little bit more. About this world deception, about Freemasonry. And the people that don't get it, you have to show all the connections, not just one piece of information. You got to put it all together. Thanks so much, Shielded Sugar 68 as well for confirming. You got to show it all connecting. with Freemasonry. And definitely, if anybody thinks this is some amazing coincidence, I've said it many times, they're just a coincidence theorist. There's no doubt whatsoever, with this happening, that this is basically a Masonic ritual that's taking place with. And here's the thing: is moving forward. Okay, moving forward with all this, what it comes down to is what's going to happen moving forward with the Super Bowl, so-called Super Bowl, the so-called competition. I don't have a crystal ball, but don't be surprised. Obviously, if it's written that the Buffalo Bills end up obviously winning the Super Bowl, we'll see. We'll see how that goes down, but obviously don't be surprised with that whatsoever. Okay, let's see here what we got here as well. All right, so I'm going to take it off of this. We basically, this is obviously garbage with Demar or DRAM. And let me take it off that. Let me remove that. And let's get back to the screen share on the photo stage. Let me get back to that. Get back to presenting. All right, let me get back to the window here. So, yeah, like I said, there's no doubt whatsoever. All the 33s. And, just to conclude it here, they had this ceremony. Obviously, you see here Wilson with the Broncos wearing the 3 and 3, on the jersey. So they had this kind of ceremony where the captain of the team there, what was his name? I forgot his name. Was it Blake Wilson or Russell Wilson? I forgot his name. I think it's Russell Wilson. Anyways, take a look here. So you have 3 and 3, obviously. Demar Hamlin's number 3. So, but they're having this meeting of the field of the two teams with a 3 and 3 for 33.
Number 3s, Russell Wilson and Derwin James wearing the same jersey number as Demar Hamlin.
And they're doing the same, like obviously kneeling. They're both wearing the number. Let me make sure this is showing up, by the way. Yeah. Let me make sure. Yeah. And that gets back to what I showed earlier with the kneeling, the Masonic ritualistic kneeling that we just saw. So it's pretty clear, pretty obvious. And also, as far as Buffalo is concerned, this has been, like I said earlier, before doing the photo stage, this has definitely been the year of the Buffalo 2022 going into 2023. And we all know what this is from, which I've covered on Rockfin in Buffalo. So the Buffalo theme has been prepped long ago. So make no mistake about it. What happened with Demar was planned to happen long, long ago in this scripted reality. So they're scripting the news, they're scripting our sports, they're scripting everything, and this is obvious, very obvious. So I'm going to take a little short break here and take a look here at the chat. And let me see what's going on here. Yeah, absolutely, Chris. Yeah, not only the pads there, also obviously on the front and the back of the jerseys, you have the 3 and 3 as well. And let me make sure this is coming in. What's going on here? Let me see. Yeah, obviously that's great info there. Onotoko, fun fact: sport comes from this sport, which means to divert or to amuse. And to be a fan, it comes from the word fanatic as well. So the people in the stands are fanatics for the distract. And let's see here. All right, let me take a look here. And let me see here. Big JC fan says Bills and Chargers. Okay. Just taking a quick peek here before I continue on with the screen share. All right, let's get back to it. Just wanted to show that. So we've concluded the whole Buffalo definitely world stage theater with the obvious 33. The Masonic, and of course the orange. I should mention the orange for 33 as well. But we're gonna move forward here a bit, okay? So we all know what supposedly went down with Lisa Marie Presley. And for those that don't recall, back in 1994, this was a huge story with Michael Jackson and Lisa Marie Presley on stage. They only showed up for a little bit, and maybe I'll move this up a little bit.
Welcome to the MTV Video Music Awards. I'm very happy to be here. And just think, nobody thought this would last.
And that obviously was staged, as stage gets, just like everything else in the world stage. So the reason I'm bringing up Michael Jackson, obviously married, a TV made marriage with Lisa Marie Presley, of course, the King Elvis, the king of pop, Michael Jackson. So obviously, them coming together. But the main aspect why I'm showing this and bringing this up. So Michael Jackson, just like all these other celebrities, David Bowie, George Michael, all Carrie Fisher, all these big names, they just like you wake up, boom, and they're gone. They're no longer here, supposedly, on the world stage. And like I said many times, it's for shock value. So it's just like Michael Jackson. Same scenario was back in 2009, I believe. Just wake up one day, boom, he's supposedly gone. Some type of heart ailment. Basically, same scenario with Lisa Marie Presley. At the age, was it 54, gone. So it's like it's this shock value. It's never like, oh, this person, we know it for months or weeks or many days. They want that shock value. That's what I'm getting at with all these celebrities. And it's funny with both of them, basically the same scenario, how it all went down. And that gets in this clip, which I played before. And obviously, this is Elvis Presley himself, his very last concert. His very last song he ever played was Are You Lonely Tonight? And just listen, for anybody that hasn't seen this before, just take a listen to what Elvis Presley says here. A little hint to the world on his very last appearance, world stage appearance, his very last concert. It's very short, obviously. Just take a listen.
Someone said the world's a stage and each of us play a part.
Just heard that. The world's a stage and each of us play a part. Very, very interesting. And this song is not his, quote, like iconic song or most famous song. It's, obviously meant to play out this way with the lyrics from that song. And that's part of it. The world's a stage. So I find that very interesting. Yeah. And you said that right there, James, right? I just saw that. World of Stage, just like Madonna. And I played that many times in the past. I've been playing in a while where Madonna states, I'm living out the American dream. And, the American dream is all I see is this world's a stage. Or what was the words? I'm trying to remember exactly what she said in that song. And I'm sorry, I'm trying to remember exactly. I'm just living out the American dream, and nothing is what it seems. That's what she didn't say. The world's a stage. She goes, and nothing is what it seems, and that's from American Life. So yeah, I got a little bit tongue twisted there because I was trying to remember the lyrics from that song. But yeah, nothing's what it seems. So basically the same thing with Madonna, a huge pop star, the quote king of pop with Michael Jackson, and then of course Elvis, the king of rock and roll. So all these so-called kings, queens, whatever, on the world stage, basically putting it out there, you know, for all to see, or all to hear, I should say. So let's get on to the next aspect here of the photo stage. And oh, you know what? Where did it go? Let me try to find it here. What happened to that? There's a clip missing. What happened to that clip? Oh, okay, here we go. I found it. So, one of my recent videos, this absolute character here, let me get to it here. With Andrew Tate, when he's speaking about, and I'll just play it here. Just take a listen.
Here's a picture.
I gotta turn up the volume. Hold tight, everyone. The volume's a little bit too low. Oh, let's try it again here.
Look how I'm doing the power. Here's a picture.
All right, I'm gonna play it right now.
Look how I'm doing the powers. Symbol of power. I'm the Illuminati. Freemason. Secretly controlling the world.
He's talking about the Illuminati, the Freemasons, and all that. It might be a little bit hard to see in the back, but what you see is, because he's known as Cobra Tate, but within that Cobra is a horse, the black horse. And hopefully you guys can see that fine. Oh, that image is way too small. Let me see if I can fix that. And maybe that presents a little bit better. Yeah, that actually, just keeping it like that, you can see it a little bit better. So like I said, it's a Cobra, it's duality, a Cobra within a horse. So that gets into all the symbolism I've shown over the last, I don't know how long, over the last couple of years with the horse symbolism. Now, let me back up actually here to this screenshot here that I made for a video presentation a while back. Where throughout all these events, of course, from Boston, Bowman, he has the white horse. We know about what happened in Boston. Zernayev with the basically 33 on the hat with the black horse, and nobody points this stuff out with symbolism, because when it comes to the truth community, no one else points this stuff out, where they put this stuff in plain sight. Everybody's breaking everything else down, but they're not breaking down the symbolism with, again, the 33 and the black horse, with the four horsemen from Revelation. Oliver Demon with was it Jeff Bezos? I believe he's from the Netherlands, but he has the pale horse, and of course Biden with the red horse, as you see here. So all these horses are in play, just like I've shown before. Biblically, the first horseman, a conqueror with a bow and a crown, rides a white horse, and we know what the crown is, with the corona. And again, the second, where he's wearing the red horse. And by no means is this some amazing coincidence, with basically in chronological order, the white and the red horse in that order. And of course, the star in the background, was it Christiana Care, the CC in the back as well. So that gets back to going back in time with Barack Obama, as you see here. Mile High Stadium in Denver. They love the concept of being high, like the Most High. That's why they love the Mile High Stadium in Denver. And you basically see this, which basically represents, and I'll just show you. I'll just show it right here, actually. And this is the throne of Zeus. It's basically a replica that they've constructed in Denver for Obama's, I believe this was his acceptance speech. I forgot exactly, but basically it was a huge event back in 2008, I believe, with his acceptance speech for the so-called President of the United States, and the throne of Zeus in plain sight. But what I'm getting at is the horse aspect above the white horse, the horse symbolism, as I've shown in videos. And here you see on top of the stadium itself, the white horse, or the white Bronco. That's why obviously they're called the Denver Broncos. And let's move on here with Biden. One of the Bidens, because obviously there's several different Bidens playing the role on the world station. And I showed this before. See, this is a really important aspect to point out with the horse, the obvious horse in the background. So if you're a cameraman, you want to have obviously the shoulders, you want to have it centered. They definitely wanted to show the horse symbolism in the back. They wouldn't have Biden a little bit to the left. It doesn't make sense if you're cameraman. You want to center the individual, unless you want to capture the horse symbolism. So basically, it comes down to, I don't have a crystal ball, but it's pointing the direction of the last days, and they're really showing off the horse symbolism. Obviously, they really want to spotlight that, and that gets into some more images here that I pointed out in the past with my back and forth with Billy Idol, obviously the Billy Goat, and obviously the lightning bolt, the crown, topped on obviously, Satan falling from heaven as lightning, and Marilyn Manson as well with the one eye symbolism. But definitely it's going to relate to the horse. I'm getting there. So I saw this, on Twitter with Billy Idol, and he signed with this Dark Horse Records, and obviously the multi-headed dark horse. So they're definitely pushing the horse theme, obviously. And here you see Billy Idol. He's getting his the Walk of Fame star, and of course it's the incomplete star, and people are not going to understand this. Just like above Washington D.C., where you don't have a full pentagram, it's always one part is broken, like a broken pentagram, and basically it's ritualistic with the so-called elite. And obviously, the star, a broken pentagram over DC is very telling of who's running the show and what they're all about. And of course, Hollywood all about witchcraft, and the ancient Druids making witches' wands or magic wands out of the holly tree. You get Hollywood, and they love obviously pagan tree worshipers. They love that aspect, and I'll show more about that in a little bit as well when it comes to Hollywood. But again, I broke this down in the video. I'll play it again with Billy Idol and the one eye symbolism, and Baphomet, the as above, so below, the black and white, and all that. But what I'm getting at here is this: even during Christmas, and this is on Facebook, where you have Billy Idol Happy Holidays, and you have your HH, of course, for 88. But you have Billy Idol in this one depiction, and it does say 33 RPMs, of course, for the record. So you have your 33 there, but you have like Santa's hat. It's almost like a bell shape, the bell or Lord on the lightning bolt, representing this is their Lord. So again, it looks like a Christmas hat, but it's shaped like a bell. Hopefully you guys can see that well enough. But this is things that people are just going to like not even see, these kind of little symbolisms that people just, it's funny just putting a Christmas hat on a lightning bolt, or the bell on a lightning bolt. So it's duality, definitely. Again, for those that don't know, that might be joining in, that don't know, but bell in ancient Babylon, Bel or Baal means Lord. So they're putting their, this hat or the bell on their Lord. Again, how Jesus saw Satan fall from heaven as lightning, and that's their Lord. And of course, Billy Idol as the Billy Goat. They worship the Billy Goat, so they're worshiping the idol, obviously. And again, everything is there as far as symbolism. I'm not going to show it. I've showed it many times with Manly P. Hall about the language of symbolism, and it's very, very obvious, very, very obvious. And obviously, they like the street aspect due to perspective. It looks like almost like a pyramid as well. And let me see here. What else do we have here? Yeah, but like I said, the dark horse, and like I showed earlier, it says 33. It's not the right one there. Yeah, if you look up closely at the album, it says 33 RPMs. And, this is where I got to pause here for a second with the numbers, the 33 revolutions per minute. Just think about the weather. and how you break it down when it comes to water freezing. Water freezes at 32 degrees and it defreezes at 33. So definitely those numbers, people say, oh, it's just, that's just the way it works. No, you can you can put any numbers to anything you want. You can make 55 or 43 be the freezing temperature. You can make it whatever. They can basically put it wherever they want, but they purposely put that where water defrosts, and it freezes at 32 and defrosts at 33. So that's the whole Masonic world system. And when people tell me Masons don't run the world, this, and this, yeah, of course, Jesuits, Masons are all working together. But if you try to remove the Masonic element, yeah, you're just gatekeeping 100%. So yeah, that's what it comes down to. And getting back to, again, Billy Idol covering the right eye, the one-eyed Antichrist, and of course, like I showed in my video with Bon Jovi, and why is he covering the right eye? Obviously, in Bon Jovi's 33 numerology, covering the right eye, and no, not everything's a-okay. And he has obviously the skulls all over the shirt for Skull and Bones. And yeah, the big thing is wearing the hat backwards, doing things in reverse. That's a huge aspect as well. And one thing I want to point out, going back in time, something I've covered, what year was it? Back in, was it 2014 or 15? I was covering this topic. Moving forward, I'm definitely going to be covering video games. I've already covered it a little bit. I've covered it in the past. I covered it again recently on one of the live streams. But definitely, I need to make a video, specifically on video games, and to really break it down, because a lot of people, they're sleeping on the video game aspect. They're pointing out some things, but they're not really covering it like it should be, like I've done in the past. So there's this game, and I've covered this years ago. For those that are newer to my work, there's a game called Call of Duty Black Ops, and this was released in 2010. And it was released for the PC, the Dreamcast. I believe the Dreamcast. Maybe I'm mistaken, but I know for the PC and PlayStation, and potential for the Dreamcast. Maybe not the Dreamcast, but for sure the PC and PlayStation. So here's a screenshot. Like I said, multiple player and zombies, settings and quit. So again, this is a real important aspect where we know the video game is in bed and basically controlled by those who are running the show. You see the little pyramid in the back, but you have to look around again. Look everywhere for the Easter eggs in plain sight, and it's down here. Let me get a better zoom in. And again, for those that followed me back in 2014 and 15, I pointed this out before. So when you look at the bottom digits on the screenshot, you see the monitor here, and you see these digital readings here, and it says 47. What is that? 47093. All right. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna flip that over. How they love to flip things around, like it says biblically. The potter's clay. So you flip it around. It might be hard for you guys to see, and hopefully you guys can see that. But basically, that's an E, that's a B, that's an O, that's an L, and basically this is going to be an A. It's hard to get anything upside down looking like an A, so this is the closest thing they can do as a 4. So just spell it out. EBOLA. And we know went down in 2014 and 2016. It's all going down in Liberia, like the library. So this is predictive programming going back to this is 2010. Then what happens basically 4 years later? So they're giving us hints, and it's a big game to these people. So we've seen that aspect. So this is Call of Duty, and hopefully you guys really get the hint what this is all about with the, like I said, the EBOLA. So you have that one aspect. Now, this is the same video game series, Call of Duty. And this is from 2007. with Call of Duty 4. And we know what this is, the circling sun and moon over the flat earth. And there you see it there in plain sight. So they're giving us, again, the truth in one aspect and a lie in another aspect. And again, this is duality, truth and lies. And that's really huge what people need to understand. And of course, this depiction of flat earth, you know, um, the way the land masses are. But the bottom line is the circling sun with the firmament. That's the real aspect that I really wanted to hit home with. And that gets back to a major aspect of predictive programming that really needs to be spotlighted. Let me find the right, where is that video? And here it is. It's going to relate to multiple things what I just covered. And I want to make sure that's coming in. Is that not coming in anymore? Where is that? Oh, let me see here. Let me make sure that's coming. Okay, there we are. Let me remove that actually. James, I have to remove that, and I've left that on there. And thanks for that, Ryan. I appreciate that. And moving forward here, this is Back to the Future. And this is one thing I really want to emphasize before even showing the information. This is the very beginning scene with all the clocks. And I said this before in a video presentation many years ago. These people are the controllers of time. Time is basically a made-up concept, and they're controlling the made-up concept of time the way it's been established. Okay? So, everybody that's seen Back to the Future will know about this. All these clocks being shown. So you're going to see different aspects, but you got it. What I'm getting is people need to keep looking. You find one Easter egg, don't give up. Keep looking. You're going to find more and more because they always put more than just one Easter egg on most occasions. So let's get to it here. I'm going to move this around here so that you see all the clocks, like I said, all the different clocks. By the way, I should stop here for a second. I forgot to mention with the whole Lisa Marie Presley and Graceland. I had a live stream years ago where I showed they had a flat earth clock on a table. I tried before the stream looking for it, and hopefully someone out there can find it for me because it's not there. It wasn't there normally in the past, but they did a tour of Graceland 3 or 4 years ago, and they had a flat earth clock that's going to that looks exactly like the flat earth clock, which I'm going to show momentarily. But let's move on here. By the way, I should mention this as far as Easter eggs, as far as Michael J. Fox. Michael is 33 numerology, and Fox is the 666. So you have 33 and 666 into one name. I want to point that out. And obviously the dome with this clock here under the glass dome. I'm going to move this forward. And let's see what we see here. I'm going to make sure we don't miss anything. And let's get to the spot what I want to show. So this is a huge aspect that no one points out with Doc Brown hanging from the clock tower. So this is, again, the very opening of this movie. This is predictive programming. This is revelation of the method. They're telling you what's going to happen later on in the movie, towards the end, in the beginning. This is very clever how they operate. So there's predictive programming within the movie itself, in the movie, or regarding the movie. There's obviously also predictive programming, quote, in the real world. So it's double layered predictive programming. Let's move forward here. But this is huge, where they're showing you what's going to happen later in the movie, in the beginning of the movie. So people that don't believe in predictive programming think it's nonsense. No, they're not. They don't get it. So you have regulator, that you have the black and white cat duality. You have the owl symbolism as well. And in a huge aspect, I should stop here and point this out. So obviously the time is huge here. Let me put pause. Let me back this up here actually. So there's another aspect that people are not going to realize or even think about. So you have, it's basically, you're getting at 811. So the whole concept of the movie, you go 88 miles per hour. So you have 811 for 88, like the 88 lights. But you split the 88 in half, you get your dual 33s. So that's why they selected this time frame And what I'm getting at is what I want to show. Move this forward here. And they show all these famous Freemasons, Benjamin Franklin, Einstein, and so forth. And let me move this up here. Let me stop there for a second. And let me get to the spot. And here you go. Here's one aspect with the white horse symbolism with the Denver Broncos, which doesn't make much sense because Marty McFly, he's not located in Denver in the movie, So yeah, but they want to get their symbolism with the Denver Broncos and the white horse, but that gets into what we see later on here. Now, let me move this forward, and basically we're getting to, and again, the glass dome over the clock, the firmament, and here you go. There is, while the dog food aspect of this is going on, everybody's looking at that, and they don't see what's right in front of them, and that's the flat earth clock in the back. And hopefully you guys can see that good. But what I'm getting at is all the Easter eggs here, from Doc hanging from the arm of the clock, the flat earth model under the glass dome, obviously, with the lens over the flat earth model of the clock. If anybody can help me find that video from Graceland, and it might have been on Instagram. I don't remember where I located that video or even how I came across it. Maybe it was one of my subscribers that pointed me in that direction. It's been many years, not many years, but at least 3 or 4 years since I presented that. But basically, what I'm getting at, why I'm showing this, it's the same exact type of flat Earth clock. The only difference is the one in Graceland had a stand. It was on top of a table, like the dining room table or living room table. It was smaller, but basically the same exact thing as this. So again, if anybody can help me locate that, and maybe in the chat or maybe in the comments section underneath this video, I'd greatly appreciate it, because it definitely I spent a good amount of time today, not too long, but I spent at least half an hour looking for that clip, and I can't find it. It might have been deleted, or who knows. But anyways, that's basically what I want to show here. There's a lot of clues beyond this. I mean, Back to the Future, you could spend, you could spend 4 or 5 hours breaking down Back to the Future, maybe even longer in a video of all the, truth in plain sight, basically. Like I said, this one thing right here with the clock. Let me go back here a bit here. This one here with the firmament, almost like the dome over the clock. That's obviously a clue. Back to Future 3. They have a dog named Copernicus in Back to Future 3. They have Einstein is the first dog in this movie. Copernicus is the name of the dog in obviously Back to Future 3. Obviously, all relates to the globe and flat Earth. And there's so many clues in these Back to the Future movies. Of course, going back in time. Yeah, and that's basically, I think I cover everything on this aspect of the share screen. There's more to share, though, on the web pages. But let me stop there and stop sharing. Well, let me see here. Let me maybe I'll just do this for now. Hold tight, everyone. Let me just do this. Let me go to that one. Where is that? Yeah, I'll just go here and I'll just leave it at this point. Where's that one point? Let's see. There we go, right there. That's good. That's a good little predictive program. I'll leave it right there. And yeah, let's take a look here. I'll definitely show some more. Actually, let me see. Yeah, just a couple more things I want to show. But let's take a look at the chat here and see what's going on. All right, and let's see here. Felix says, Argentina won 3-3, 4-2 penalties after 36 years. Yeah, I'm not too much. I'm assuming this is regarding soccer or football, and I haven't seen that. But yeah, sometimes it's by chance, but definitely, like when it comes to Demar Hamlin, not by chance, not by a long shot. I think my internet went out for a second. I apologize for that if that's the case. Yeah, there's many. Yeah, David Walls, you mentioned Die Hard. Yeah, there's it's everywhere. No, that's not Wimpy Weiss that you're thinking about. No, that's somebody else. Yeah, Rocky Shepard, absolutely. There's the 88. Basically, 88 is HH, like I said. So the concepts in our world, there's many concepts of the 88 or HH. Like, for example, heaven and hell. Obviously, translated in English, H and H. God, this is the duality aspect. It's best to call him, obviously, the creator, because dog in reverse is God is in reverse is dog, and they did that on purpose. Unfortunately, that's why in a lot of ways it's best to say the creator. But anyways, regarding getting back to 88 miles an hour, that's why they picked that. It's the dual 33. So I pointed this out in a video before. Maybe I'll just screen share it. Hold tight, everyone. I'm going to maybe just screen share this. So in the Star Wars universe, let me see here if I can get it. Hold on, everyone. Let me see if I can find this one here. Let me see here if I can get one here. All right, maybe you guys can't see it that well. Maybe I'll just share this. Let me just stop this. Let me just share so you guys can see what I'm talking about. Let me stop this momentarily. So we know that Steven Spielberg and George Lucas are very good friends. Okay, so let me show this so you guys get kind of like they're on the same page. It'll be fully understood once you see this. So for anybody that knows anything about the Star Wars series, Return of the Jedi, let me make sure it's showing up properly. Okay, let me do this actually. Let me blow this up a little bit. Let me do this here. Okay. So there's a character named, let me get back here to streamer. Okay. There's a character named IG-88 in Star Wars Return of the Jedi and Empire Strikes Back, I should say. And yeah, actually the Empire Strikes Back. I don't think it was actually, I don't think was IG-88 in Empire and Return. No, he was in Empire Strikes Back, not Return of the Jedi. But the point I'm making is you have 88 miles per hour in Back to the Future with Steven Spielberg. Now you have George Lucas, again, great friends, buddies, always they have pictures together. And you have this robot bounty hunter named IG-88. And people don't think the numbers are nothing. They don't mean anything. It's just numbers. They're not going to understand the numbers to them have a lot of meaning, obviously. So I just want to point that out. And also, too, with the Back to the Future scene, when he has to go 88 miles per hour before he can go back in time, he's in the parking lot, the mall parking lot with JCPenney, the anchor store in the background. They have to spotlight the JCPenney because JCPenney, the creator of JCPenney was a Freemason named James Cash Penney. So when they cut it down to JCPenney's 33. So you have Marty McFly going, 88 miles per hour in the background, JCPenney 33, in plain sight. So it's really a numbers game. Really a numbers game. Yeah, you said it there, again, PJ CNET, definitely, they're handing it from one Masonic owner and George Lucas. And by the way, I should mention this. Lucas means the light bearer. So that's why you have Lucasfilm over the dome, as I shown before, as light bearer. Let me see if I can do that. Hold on, everyone. I'm going to try to show something here momentarily, since it was brought up. Let me see here if I can do this. Let's see if I can find this. Hold tight, everyone. I'm looking for something right now. I do things on the fly. Of course, we're live. Let me see. Locate this. Hopefully I can locate it. If not, I'm going to have to. Yeah, here we go. So this is really important to understand here. And let me get this going here. And I apologize, everyone. When I'm do things on the fly, it takes time to look up things and locate things. But we'll get this going. All right, let me get back to the screen share, and I got the image here. All right, let me make sure that's displaying properly. All right. So there you go. Hopefully you guys can see that fine. Is that coming in? Okay, there you go. So you have that. Now, I know what people are thinking already. Of course, you have that dome symbolism and you have the light bearer, all right? So I'm going to take this off temporarily, but that's the way I have to do it with this. And that gets into... And you're going to see how they're putting their symbolism, obviously, in a plain sight for all to see. It's so very obvious what they're doing here. Let me present again. Let me get to this. Yeah, there we go. So it's very obvious why they love that name, Lucasfilm. Of course, the flat Earth dome. I mentioned so many times with the sun and the moon underneath the dome, and LTD for limited. And definitely that is the sun and the moon as they make the circling motion above the flat Earth. So that gets into, I need to stop this again here. Well, maybe I don't need to. Hold on. So let me do this. So that's a really important connection to make here. Let's see if I can find it. So this guy gets it here. Let me stop this, and this guy gets it. I'm not going to go into the great detail or spend too much time showing it, but this guy gets it when you see this. And let me get back to screen share. I'm going to screen share something else here. All right, let's do that. All right, let's see here. Share screen, and then we're going to go to... So basically, you see that there. Like I said earlier, Lucas means light bearer. And that's why they, the people that run Hollywood loved George Lucas. And he was given, obviously, opportunity to make many movies, even ones that flop, like Howard the Duck. He made Willow. He made, of course, was it Indiana Jones, the whole series with Steven Spielberg. They're all collaborating with that, with Harrison Ford. But again, Lucas means light bearer. So Lucasfilm is basically Lucifer film or light bearer film. So they're very sneaky with the translation of things. That's why, of course, on the US dollar, a lot of things are, of course, in Latin. They obviously have a translation in English to find the real meaning. The hiding things in plain sight. That's what I'm getting at. But definitely, I find that very interesting with Lucasfilm, basically light bearer film. And this guy gets the concept. All right, let's stop with that one here. And that's another topic I want to touch upon here briefly. And I think it's not much. It's not a huge story. It's a story, but it's not like the biggest story. but I think it's worth covering a little bit here. Let me remove that actually. Yes, Ramina Al Despertar, you get it. Lucas Lucifer, the same exact thing. Exactly. So let me go to present here and actually I'm so sorry, Ramina. I have to remove this because I'm going to screen share something else. I apologize for that. I need to present something else because that banner is gonna be in the way. So this is the latest nonsense with so-called space travel. Let me see here. What's going on with this here? Let me see if it's showing up yet. All right. Okay. Thanks everybody for holding tight here. All right. So we have this here. Let me take that one down there and get to supposedly stuck in space. Russia and U.S. announced plan to bring cosmonauts home. So the big aspect, which I touched upon with SpaceX and all these other so-called space ventures, they have to, when you're going to fake a reality, you got to make it look real as possible. Just like a movie, there's going to be the challenges, the obstacles, the drama, and supposedly a micrometeorite supposedly slammed into the Soyuz capsule, and there's some type of leak of coolant, supposedly. All right. So this is just an aspect I want to touch upon briefly because it's nonsense. They've never been in space, never will be in space. They have to make it look real. So obviously, if every single mission went without fail or kind of like some kind of drama, then it'll be kind of too obvious. If everything, like every launch was successful, it's also to keep interest and keep everybody on their toes as well. So this is just more nonsense with these Masonic actors on the world stage, and not much else to say about this. It's just, and that gets back to, if anybody's joining in late, I had a conversation with this 70-year-old man at Lowe's hardware store, and he was bringing up astronauts walking the moon, and I said this to him. I said, it's funny how we have images, and this is from a video I made years ago. We have images of or photos of construction of the like the Eiffel Tower, the Statue of Liberty. We have these things from many, many years ago. But I said, it's funny when we don't have any construction footage of the ISS whatsoever. And I guess he tried to be a smart aleck. I'm not sure what he's trying to get. It goes, he says something like, well, the ISS was not constructed. The ISS was constructed on Earth. I'm like, look, man, are you trying to be funny here? They obviously have to put the modules, connect them all together, connect everything together in space. We have no footage of that whatsoever. So this is what you're dealing with people that are heavily invested in lies and so-called space travel and everything else they're supposedly doing. They act like defense attorneys. They're not interested in truth. They're just interested in preserving what they believe is truth. And that's the sad reality as far as that's concerned. Okay. Now I'm going to stop this and I'm going to get on board something else I said I was going to mention earlier. Unfortunately, I have to bring this up, but it needs to be done. So just moving forward, we don't have this issue again with people, taking information. But one thing at a time here. Let me get back to the screen share aspect here. Let me make sure it's presenting properly. All right, let me see here. So this is what I'm getting at. I mentioned this again earlier. Let me make sure this is showing properly before I even get into it. All right, so you guys see this here. Hold on. This is from my video. This is a video that I made that someone named Chuck Middleton, and this is my title, "The Music Industry Knows the Earth is Flat." All right. This is my text I put on this image from Lucasfilm. Everything you see here is from what I created. All these, everything you see here with the text, dome, sun, limit on the firmament, the moon, all this stuff. Everything here is my creation. I put this all together. This entire video, Trump mentioning, basically the dome with the hand symbolism. I mean, this video here, I put it all together with the song with there's this guy singing about, you know, how he's flying so high, we're gonna break out of this dome, my girlfriend and I, and all this stuff. You know, I put this together. I took the time, the effort to put all this together, all these clips, um, you know, with Meatloaf saying the world could still be flat, all this stuff, everything, you know, the same album of Everything's a Lie and That's a Fact, Life's a Lemon. I want my money back. The point is this: I do not have a problem with anybody taking my videos and re-uploading it. I encourage it, but I encourage people to be honest. You know, you look here. Let me just double make sure here it's showing up. It might be hard to see, but I'll just read it off anyways. And I apologize for that. If people you can't see the text here, but trust me when I tell you it's there. Let me see here. Yeah, this guy Adam says you produce amazing content. You know, can't for life for me remember how I stumbled upon your channel, but I'm thankful I did, that I came across your channel. You know, as ever, God bless from the UK. And Chuck says, thanks, I really appreciate that. And like I said, this video is my video. He says he appreciates that. So all Chuck did basically was take my video, re-upload it, and telling people that say they're being waken up by his content, which is not his content. And to me, that is a slap in the face to as a video creator. You know, and his brother, I guess obviously his brother David Milton. Thank you, Chuck. Great editing work. You know, all this stuff, and all Chuck says, I appreciate that. No mention of me. No mention that, hey, you know, that I made it. And to me, you know, I need to point this out because this is not acceptable. You know, Christy says, great video, Chuck. And again, thanks. No mention to the person that actually made the video. So I don't like to call people out, but in this situation, it needs to be done. You know, I don't appreciate this whatsoever. And again, I'm repeating myself, I appreciate people sharing my work. You're welcome to do so. But please don't take credit for someone else's work. It's a real bad look when you're involved with truth. It's not being honest. Really is. It's not a good look. And Chuck, you should be ashamed of yourself for not saying, hey, you know, I appreciate the nice words, but I didn't make this video. This is from They Live Truth, you know, also known by other names as well. But yeah, it's just, you know, all these things I point out here, you know, in you know, the truth in plain sight. But anyways, that's enough of that. You guys get the gist of it, that it's not okay to take someone else's work and then take credit for it. It's okay to share work and just say, hey, I'm not the individual. I appreciate the nice words, but I didn't make the video. You know, someone else did. That's simple. Okay, that's simple. Let's stop screen sharing. And that basically concludes the sharing aspect with photo stage and everything else. I'm going to take a look at the chat and see what's being said. And definitely, Ramin, that's the direction I was going with the light bearer, which Lucifer is known as. And obviously, yeah, and definitely, you just said it right there. You know, let me just show that again. PJC net, yeah, it's not fair use when you take someone else's stuff, and that's exactly right, Ramina. You just said it. That's basically the truth. Yeah, and I don't appreciate it, and I'm not happy about that at all. And I hope Chuck and his crew sees that, and you know, that's not cool at all. You want to take some aspects, you want to take some work, that's fine. Take the whole video. Just all you have to do is put a link to me, or just say, hey, I didn't make that video. You know, that's all you have to do. You're welcome to take the video, but don't take credit for something you didn't do. Yeah, Natron, you said it, but I can't share that. But yeah, that's basically what it is. You know, not cool at all. Aleko, no worries. I know you're there in Australia. It's really early in the morning there, and I appreciate that, brother. No worries at all. Another individual, Ben in Australia, duty calls me must. Thanks for having me. No worries. I appreciate that so very much. Yeah, gotta get a it's 11 a.m. in Brisbane. Oh wow. Okay, so that's not you guys are doing okay then. I thought it was early morning, as in I didn't even check to be honest. I thought it'd be like 6 or 7. I didn't know it was 11 a.m. Okay, so it's not you guys are doing okay then. You should be okay. Yeah, Felixy, no worries, no worries. I appreciate you and you pass on some good information. It's truly appreciated. All right, James, we're at 12, 9:12 where you're at. Yeah, and that's sad. Listen, nobody's perfect. We make mistakes, this, and this, but definitely that's no mistake. That's no mistake. And yeah, that's what you're dealing with. Like I said, yeah, to me, that's garbage. No respect. Everything. He's used to be a follower, a supporter of the channel. But yeah, to do that, that's just no excuse for that. And listen, I've seen many, many people, Barry, share my videos, share my work, and like nearly all will give me credit or at least put a link, something. But and I don't even mind if they don't put a link. But when someone says great work and you taking credit for it, that's a slap in the face, big time. That's a real slap in the face. All right. Oh, and here we go with Jack's Food and Music. Definitely a channel to subscribe to. Definitely great dude. Another one, obviously, in Australia. Good day, bruv. Back at you, bruv. Funny guy, hilarious. Um, Again, obviously by his avatar there, you can his Food and Music, like I said, and a great supporter of the channel. Someone involved with truth, and yeah, well-rounded dude and a great guy. Appreciate seeing you here, brother. Great to always see you here. And like I said, over the years making so many videos, there's still people like Jack still around. It's great to see that. There's definitely there's a lot of people still around from a decade ago or beyond that. It's great to see that. Definitely great to see that. Well, James, you should know this. Not only Australia but also Canada as well. I said it before, well before all this was going on. And I won't go into great detail, but what happened in Tasmania, that was meant to go down. Tasmania, Australia, that was definitely, a test run for sure. Great point there. PJ bringing up Lucius Trust. And yeah, that's a great point. I'm glad you brought that up as well. But there's many aspects of the things hidden in plain sight. For example, obviously with Elon Musk and the Dragon capsule, the Dragon was thrown to Earth, and now the Dragon's ascending, supposedly back up into the heavens. So there's a lot of things right in plain sight that people are not keying on. And great to see my brother Daryl Dessa. Thanks so much, brother. Another great supporter of the channel. Hold on tight, everyone. I'm going to check something real quick here. Just hold tight, please. I need to check something. It won't take too long. And I want to just check something here real quick. And let's see here. All right, let me see something here. All right, we're good to go here. All right, just want to check something real quick. Yeah, and also, PJ, they also have the prayer room or the meditation room with the cube as well with the UN. So there's a lot of things. And of course, the flat Earth map or the model for all to see in plain sight. Yeah, all this talk, about, good to see you there, Alan, as well. All this talk about like eclipses, the way, quote, science can predict eclipses and the full moons, all this stuff. How can you do it on the flat Earth? Listen, they were predicting eclipses before the globe, quote, globe was invented. So what is this? What's this guy saying here? I'm just seeing some comments here, but whatever anybody's saying in the comment section, understand eclipses were predicted when everybody knew, obviously, the Earth was flat, well before the fake phony globe. So just remember that. Yeah, and the people that fall for it, that's the majority of the world are falling for it, and that's what they're going to get. Let me take a look here. Hold on, everyone. I want to check something here. Let me check something here. Oh yeah, and I'm glad you brought that up there. Actually, thanks so much for that. Let me see here. Yeah, Erica Harden brought this up. Thanks so much, Erica, because I'm going to screen share this, what you just brought up. Okay, I wasn't planning to do this, but I'm thankful you did. Let's take a look here with the ID magazine that Erica's brought up. And look at this. Wow. Look at all this. The ID magazine. This piece of garbage here. Wow, that's crazy. Even with the dog covering one eye every which way possible. I mean, if people don't understand symbolism, they're lost in this world. It's really insane. Let me see here. Make sure that's showing up properly. Yeah, you guys can see that. I just want to make sure. Yeah, thanks for that. And as far as any other details, I'm not quite sure. But definitely, yeah, they're in the tank, obviously. Wow, the agenda is very, very clear. And thanks so much for that once again, Erica. Yeah, very, very thankful to people like you. So that's the thing is, I find a lot of stuff myself, and then people like Erica, obviously Ramina and others, send me stuff or tell me about stuff. And that definitely helps. So it's a two-way street, because to be honest, I never even heard of this magazine before. So I had to Google it. All right, let's see here. All right. Yeah, well, all these companies are Masonically owned. McDonald's, Burger King, Taco Bell, and I pointed out before, specifically with Taco Bell, they're all Masonically owned. So, yeah, that one is not a major surprise there. And let me stop that momentarily. Let me get back here. I want to check something else here as well. Let me take a quick peek. Take a quick peek here before we move forward. Let me see here. All right. Let me take a look here. Okay. Yeah. All these companies. Listen, anything that gets worldwide distribution, like McDonald's all over the place, Taco Bell all over the place, like Burger King. I know they call it Hungry Jack in Australia, but it's the same company. Like Kmart, they love Kmart, and they have a Kmart in Australia, but it's a different company. But the K is 11. K is 11th letter in the alphabet, so it's like 11 Mart, or the two pillars. More importantly, Apple Computer, all these things that get worldwide distribution, they're going to be Masonically owned. No non-Masonic company. Like, let me show this here briefly. Let me take a look here. Actually, let me see here. Just hold tight, everyone. All right, let me take a quick peek here. Let me see something here. Hold on, everyone. Just hold tight. Yeah, let's see here. Okay, let me just take a look here. So here's an example of that. Okay, I'm going to just show this. All right, this is perfect to show. So this is a good example. See, this is great that I do the interaction with everybody here because it takes some time, but I show examples of what I'm talking about. So for example, obviously, and I have to remove this, so we can see what I'm talking about here. So okay, there it goes. So Aldi's, for example, they're all over. Obviously, it started in Europe. I believe I could be wrong. I think it's a German company, but they're in Australia, the U.S. They're everywhere. But you see the Aldi, you see the 3 and 3. The A, obviously is a 3 and a 3 with Aldi. So they're always having without telling anybody, they're showing through symbolism that they're a Masonic company. And the same with McDonald's. Let me see here. Yeah, Shannon, you got it. Aldi's 30, like I said. But let me I want to see something else. Let me see here. Point something else out as well. Let me see if I can find this. McDonald's. I can find it. And like I said, it's everywhere in plain sight. Let me see if I can find one here. Soul tight, everyone. It won't take too long for this. Here's a perfect example. Let me get back here. With the obvious McDonald's. Obviously, if you flip the 2M sideways, you have 33. And what do they serve there? Obviously, hamburgers, meat, stuff that's not good for you. So these are obviously distributed throughout the world, US, Europe, Russia. I'm not sure about Russia now, but Australia, Japan, everywhere. McDonald's is everywhere. So that's not going to happen with this world Masonically run and owned. If you're not part of that, you're not going to get expanded. You're not going to get very far. So what happens is, for example, here's just an analogy. Say, for example, you have your own restaurant. You have your own restaurant, and the so-called elite like the concept. They buy you out. They use the name. They sell your food. They franchise it and they distribute it throughout the world. Even though it had grassroots of a real individual that started it, they'll take control and they'll put it out there. But definitely what I'm getting at is it's not going to go worldwide unless it's Masonically owned and controlled. It's that very simple. All right, let's see here we got. Yeah, you said it, Daryl. You said it right there. I remember, in high fructose corn syrup. I remember actually, it wasn't too long ago. There was this one woman that she bought some McDonald's. I think she said it was back in 1989 or 88. And she left the bag in the closet for the longest time. And, she opened up the bag after all these years. And you can see what looks like a hamburger, the buns and everything. It didn't even disintegrate. That just tells you what they're putting in there. Not good. Not good at all. All right. Some people just come here to disrupt, and yeah, gun. Yeah, Karen Lee, good to see you in there. Yeah, basically that's how it works. That's basically how it operates, 100%. And let me see something here. Let me see here. I'm sorry, the chat's moving a bit quick. I'm trying to read through it here to see. Let me see here. Hold tight, everyone. I'm just looking through here. Yeah, Joe K. Yeah, that's being spotlighted too much, and they basically, you're talking about Jeremy Renner. Yeah, when they spotlight something too much, it's like Demar Hamlin. When they spotlight it constantly in the media, constantly in the news, it's basically their creation. They're not going to promote something that as much as that unless they're behind it. Definitely, I'm not buying that nonsense whatsoever. Oh, great to see you in here, Tiffany Freely. She goes, Laura, have you ever looked at Ace Frehley's Facebook page? He has flat earth imagery in his profile and cover photos. I got to look at that. I'm so glad I scrolled up and saw your comment there, Tiffany, because I haven't. But I'll definitely take a peek. And let me see here. Because I remember, well, first off, let me take a look here. Hold tight, everyone. When it comes to Ace, let me take a look at what his logo is here. Wow. Wow, that's crazy. Let me see. Let me click on it here. Hold tight, everyone. That is fantastic. Wow. Thanks so much for that. I'm gonna need to just hold tight, everyone. I'm gonna put this. Wow, this is from 2021. I had no idea. I had no idea. No idea about this. Thanks so much, Tiffany. Wow, if I knew about this, I'm surprised no one brought this up, but I'm glad you I'm glad you did for sure. Let me get this set up where I can show it, and I'll probably make a video to spotlight this. And definitely, Tiffany, you get the credit. But let me get this set up first here. Hold on. Let me make sure this is showing. Yeah, hold on here. Hold on. I need to get this set up. Let's see here. Hold on. I need to adjust something here. Let me just stop this sharing for a second. This is messing me up. All right, let me get this going here. It'll only be a second. But wow, this is a fantastic discovery there by Tiffany Freely. All right, let's see here. This is awesome. All right, let me get this here. And Tiffany, I'm so sorry. This is your discovery, but I got to hide it because no one's going to be able to see it. All right, let me get back to present and show this for everybody. Wow. Take a look at this. And obviously, everybody knows Ace Frehley was part of the band Kiss. He had his problems with Gene Simmons, but definitely really fantastic with the flat Earth in plain sight. And let me show the next one here. But definitely, we all know there's people behind all this that put this together for him. The the records basically the flat Earth model on. It's funny because it's 33 RPMs. Flat Earth is 33, and the really interesting. It says Origins Volume 2. Origins, as in this is the foundation. The flat Earth is the foundation. Wow, that's really, really, really cool. Really, really cool. Thanks so much again for that, Tiffany. All right, let's get back here to the chat here. Let me see what's going on with this. All right, so I'll just leave it there. I think that's a pretty cool image to show. Yeah, that's right. Origins, as in the flat Earth, and make no mistake about it. I have no doubt whatsoever. It's not his doing. It's people that are the record albums he signed to, and wow, that's really amazing. And actually, I really enjoyed. Of course, I had a couple. I did a couple podcasts with Chris Jericho, the pro wrestler. And before that, I listened to Chris Jericho's podcast with Ace Frehley, and the moon landing was mentioned, and Ace Frehley was questioning it. Chris Jericho was questioning as well, because Ace Frehley said he had a telescope, and they're questioning him, which I really appreciated. So it's funny, I became a guest on the show twice after that on Chris Jericho's podcast. But yeah, that's really cool. I really blown away by this. This is a really cool find. Yeah, definitely. I don't know if Chris Jericho knows, but I'll send this to him either on Skype or Twitter or whatever. And yeah, but he might already seen it, or he might know already. Whatever the case is, this is so very cool. All right. Yep. So in our faces. And Ramina's saying, I'm sorry, this is part 2 of 2 of Albright 33, Chaldean numerology, Albright 30. Wow. That's a very good find. Yeah, okay, this is the one here. All these logo 33 founders of that store. Okay, gotcha. Yeah. Very nice find there. See, that's the thing is, this is how Ramina and I work together. I'll find something like Aldi's 33, and she'll look even further and find that. Very good research there, Ramina. Thank you so much for that. And God bless you on that one, Sinead. Let's see here. We have, yeah, also that Tiffany as well. But thanks, I can't thank you enough for that, Tiffany. That's a really, really cool find. Yeah, that's a funny thing you bring that up. Definitely, probably some relation with Ronald McDonald. Yeah, no doubt. Like the Masonic jester, Yeah, Daryl, I pointed that out before about McDonald's signage and all that. Yeah, definitely. No doubt about that. No doubt whatsoever. I'm just scrolling up here, seeing if I missed anything here. All right, let's take a look here. And Ramina Adespatars thanking Barry for the information. All right, let me take a look. Good to see here Jay Steele as well. Yeah, Jimmy Buchanan, obviously in God we trust. It's their God, the God of this world, not God. It's their one-eyed God in back of the US dollar, for sure. Not it's like Kiss. They made that song, God made rock and roll for you. Which God? Which God are they talking about? They're obviously not talking about the God in heaven. They're talking about their God. basically Polaris, which definitely I'll re-upload those videos on Polaris, my Polaris video series. I'll put those back up for sure. Well, I didn't know about that. Wow. But it doesn't surprise me either, though. Oh, you're very welcome there, Romina Despotar. You're very, very welcome. And good to see you in there, son of Overbrook. Thanks so much for tuning in, joining in. Much appreciated. Yeah, Roger, I already covered all these things. You know, you need to stop asking questions and actually watch the videos I put out, because everything you're asking has been answered. He's just, like so many people, they want, like kids, I get it. They want to believe in Santa Claus. They want to believe in the Tooth Fairy. They want to believe in the Loch Ness Monster, because it's so fascinating. They want to believe they live in a spinning water ball zipping through space, but it's not reality. And these people are not reality based. So they're falling for one lie. That's the foundation. Now they're falling for the rest of the lies as well. That simple. You said there, Carly. You said it there, Roger. You aren't that smart. 100%. Severely lacking upstairs. Yeah, I was going to say that too, with the ice wall. For the most part, definitely, hinting. And one thing I'll say too, and I was going to say this for a video, but I'll say it here: the black hole sun, the center of the record itself, and I'll talk more about that in the future with the black hole sun and the not Antarctic. I'm sorry, with the Arctic region. That's a little hint right there as well. But yeah, I'm just blown away by this. All right, let me take a look here. And let me actually show the other one as well. Well, crazy, crazy stuff. Yeah. But it kind of reminds me of the movie Flash Gordon. They had very similar like flat earth depictions with the foundations like that in the sky. So I find that pretty interesting. But it, to me, obviously they're showing 4 flat earths, and yeah, that's part of mixing truth with lies, other lands, other worlds, So it's not biblical. There's no evidence for that. So, anyways, they're also showing deep space. So they're giving us definitely a hint of truth, but obviously a distortion. Yeah, I understand all this, Michael. No worries at all. No worries on Yahuwah. I get it. I get it. But to me, in different languages, you call things differently. But I understand what you're saying. Just like they say, Jesus Christ is a title, not his actual name. It's Yeshua. I understand that. All right, let me take a look here. All right, let me take a look. I just saw a funny comment here. I gotta let me see something here. Well, hold on. Jono, you're nuts. That's funny. Well, thanks for that, B Mill. He goes, my uncle was an original Ronald McDonald. He was also a Mason. Was in some movies too. Wow, that's pretty interesting. But yeah, the connections, I mean, it's like this, and this is something I have to cover as well. And I appreciate that, by the way, Bill Mill. There's a guy on Instagram who keeps defending Freemasonry, and this guy has like tattoos all over his face, all over his body, and he's really working hard to defend Masonry. And I'm going to definitely do something on that in the future, and definitely show Masonic writing, which totally contradicts, as he's protecting, all these characters in Masonry. So he's just like many people in Masonry. They don't know at the top what's going on. Just like I said before, the best analogy is there's millions of good people that are Catholics, but they don't know at the top when it comes to the Catholic Church. They're being led astray. That's the same exact thing with Masonry. There's good people at your local lodges that don't know better. They don't know, and they are good. There are good people there, but if you keep moving up that ladder, like Wimpy Weiss loves to move up the ladder, and you keep going up, you know what it's about. You know what it's about when you move up there. Make no mistake about it. You're not going to be a high level Mason and not understand that. Yeah, one of these days, I'll have Mr. E hopefully on a live stream, because he does, we all know he does fantastic work. The only issue is, of course, those topics I used to cover, then he covers. Those are, a bit tough to do here. That's the problem. But maybe we could talk about other things, of course. Yeah, Shania, I agree. People want to argue about names. That's, to me, it's really nitpicking. As long as you believe in the Son, you believe in the Creator, you believe in the Son. I think when it comes to the names, it's just like I'm not going to give someone that says calls the Creator God a hard time. It's like everybody wants to kind of outdo each other, in that situation. And like, it's okay to bring it up, but some people do it like they want to hold something over you, like they have power over you, whatever the case is. Yeah, that's the best. I agree, Barry. Also, biblical earth is the best way to put it, or God's domed earth, or there's many things you can say. Domed earth, stationary earth, fixed earth, but biblical earth is probably the best. I agree on that. All right, let's see what else we got going here. Yeah, that's funny. I thought that was funny too. Obviously, Tiffany Freely on Ace Frehley's imagery. That's pretty cool. All right, let's see here. Just hold time. I'm just going through the comments, everyone. Yeah, good. And I just saw this. Thanks so much, Jay. So good, doing good, brother. Great to see you here. Fantastic to see you here, brother. I appreciate you've been around for a very long time, like many people here. And definitely I appreciate you all, just not the trolls. Let's see here. What else we got here? All right, we've been going on for about 2.5 hours now. Thanks for that, Joss. I appreciate that. Thanks for the support, brother. I appreciate it. All right, let's see what we got here. All right, I got to check something real quick here. What is this? All right, that's good. All right. Yeah, I remember that movie. I remember that movie. Or wasn't it Arm? That one movie, Hot Tub Time Machine. That's right. Thanks so much, Erica Harden. It's a live streams are not easy to do. People have that haven't done it have no idea. You're live. You're trying to present. You're looking through images. You're trying to find things live, and you know it's not the easiest thing to do, but I still enjoy it very much. I still enjoy it very much. I'm just going through the comments, seeing if anything I missed here. Thanks for that, Jimmy. I really appreciate that. That super. We are under the same critter. Thanks so much, Jimmy. Much appreciate the support and your comments. Very much appreciated. Yeah, Acer. It's always about divide and distract, no doubt whatsoever. Well, thanks for that, Jimmy. I appreciate that comment. Thank you so much. You do great work. I review your videos. Second to none. Thanks so much. That really keeps me moving forward. Definitely. I just wish I had more time. To make new videos and stuff. I'm just I have to support myself. And it's hard to juggle everything I'm trying to do. Take care of the yard. Go shopping, make food and everything else. And then videos take a long, long time to make. Videos, even you could make a 2 or 3 minute video, putting it together and uploading and editing. It could take a few hours, even for a short video. Some videos could be very quick, to be honest, but some could take you all day on some of them, even if it's a seemingly short video. People that don't make videos have no idea. It's very tedious on most of the time. Yeah, trust me, and it's difficult too because I try to get things done. Like, for example, I'll do yard work, and one of my neighbors, he loves to talk to me, so he'll drive by and like he want to talk to me for like 2 hours, 3 hours about things, and I'm always polite though. I never like rush him or tell him I can't talk. I just kind of like, okay, he likes to talk. I'll let him say whatever he wants, and you know, just to be polite, But I like talking to him too. But boy, he wants to talk. If he could talk for all day, he'll do it. But I appreciate him. He's a very nice man, though. Very nice man. But definitely, my front yard work, if it takes an hour and a half to do, now it's going to be a 5-hour job because I have to talk to him. But that's okay. I enjoy it too. Yeah. Yeah, I'll tell him next time I say, hey, I got a lot to do. You wanna help me out with the yard? We could talk at the same. Yeah. Yeah. People just assume, oh yeah, you can have all day to talk. And yeah, it's actually more difficult because people like, oh, you work from home, Barry. Let me call her. I know she's working from home, so I can call her, and I'll kill 3 or 4 hours of time with her. But in reality, you know, you work in many hours, and it's not easy. Definitely Rocky Shepard, 100% JFK and Elvis. I have no doubt. Yeah, Doc, you got to find a new hobby, pal. It's not working here. It's definitely not working here. Oh wow, yeah, it's definitely no fun. Hopefully, you're not in an HOA where they make you pull every weed out of the driveway. If not, you get some kind of letter in the mail. They'll be asking for $200-300 as well. Thanks, Mike. I appreciate that very much. Definitely appreciate that very much. You know, that's why I do what I do. If I see something, you know, got to put it out there, you know, specifically when I've researched it thoroughly and heavily. Yeah, definitely want to get the information out there. I'm all about that. All right, let's see here. I'm going to go in for a little bit longer before we close it out. Let's see here. That's right, Ramina. The Bible originally was in Hebrew and Greek. And some have stated actually Hebrew came from Greek. The Hebrew language started from Greece. That's debatable, but that's what I heard as well. But it's a different version, basically. Just like the Russian alphabet comes from basically from Greek, from Greece. So a lot of things come from Greece. Even here's something funny too. Is obviously we know about the ball Earth. With all the Greeks, coming up with that. Copernicus, name one. And let's see what else we have here. And the New Testament written were inspired under the Hebrew name. Yeshua is Greek, and this is proven God's accept language verse. Yes, that's right, and that's important to understand is the different languages, and we shouldn't be so concerned if someone else in a different language calls the creator, by a different name, as long as it's the same biblical creator. That's the most important thing. Yeah. Well, here's the thing: is Jay, there's a lot of talk about that, and actually, when you get a close up of the ambulance, it definitely has some writing on it, but it does look different, and they used the same one before, so I really stayed away from that aspect. I stayed away from that aspect in my video presentation because they used it before the year prior, a couple years prior, on the field, the same type. That's very true. Very, very true. All right, let's see here. Well, yeah, Jimmy, again, this is, we know when you go back to Babylon and that region, in my estimation, Babylon, Iraq, that region, that's where everything started. This is what someone told me, the way to verify, you know, but again, that's what he told me, that Hebrew came from Greece. And, there's a lot of discussions like this, and I don't have, I'm not going to push it one way or another. Yeah, Russian, Macedonian, of course, Bulgarian, Belarusian, of course, Ukraine, Kazakhstan, Uzbekistan, all these places, very similar. Like, for example, I can listen to a Croatian movie and I'll hear words, that are, the same in Russian, yeah, it works that way with the Slavic languages. 100% agree, Drodessa. Grow fruits and veggies in your front and backyards, not grass. Grass just takes up a lot of water, and it's nice, but you can't do much with it. Oh, thanks so much. I appreciate that. I should be paying right now, but I'd rather watch your stream, RV. Thanks so much for that, Bear. I appreciate that. I won't be going on too much longer, but so you can get back to the painting. But I appreciate that so very much. All right, let's see what we got here. Yeah, that's a good question. Kimberly F is saying about, I also wonder if the SS numbers are the more. That's funny because those numbers are stored in the UK, and that's where, the central of it all, the Vatican, London. So that makes me wonder as well. You never know. There's many theories on it. There's many theories, but we're all going to know sooner or later. But, I always say this: expect the unexpected. Whatever seems the obvious is not the answer. It could be something like that of sorts. It's like when I spoke with Rose and Jason, you know, Secrets of Saturn. He always talks about don't be married to concept or ideas, because we should, with new information, come to new conclusions. I totally agree with Jason on that aspect. Yeah, that's Carly Settler. That's 100% accurate. And what I find interesting, very interesting, is when the Bible mentions how the beast and the mortal wound and the world shall follow the beast. That tells you even atheists are going to be believers, but they're going to fall for the false Messiah, of course. But I find that very fascinating. It also talks about the false miracle. So it's going to be literally a hoaxed event. Basically, they're saying it's a hoaxed event. The Bible's saying it's a hoaxed event. False miracles, lying wonders about deception. So that's a huge aspect that people don't really address. Sure thing, Kimberly F. You're very welcome. That's awesome, brother. I appreciate that, and I'm really, I can't pronounce your name in Chinese. Is Tis Lok Leong? I'm sorry if I pronounced your name wrong, but my Chinese is not the best. But I appreciate that, and that's awesome. I love to read messages like this about your awakening in December 2016, then sharing with your flat earth with your friend. Um, that's awesome. He's questioning the globe, man. I appreciate that, brother. That's fantastic to hear. Fantastic. And anybody knows by my presentation, I'm just a regular guy. You know, I have no background in broadcasting or any of this sort. You look at the other people; they have a background in acting, 7-Up commercials, trying to be in TV series. I've done none of that. My background is stocking shelves at Costco. That's what that's my background. Working at Costco wholesale. Yeah, Jack Burton, 100%. And how all the kings of the world will unite against God Almighty, and God laughs at their plans. Of course, kings represent prime minister and presidents of today. Yeah, Sarah, I'll tell you right now. Yeah, they're not. These other events are test runs for the big event. That's what people really need to understand. We're well ahead of that, of course. And as always, they're listening in. They always listen in, and they see who's awake in the comment section as well. They definitely look at that. And brother, I appreciate that so very much, Jason 410. Fantastic support of the channel. Been a great supporter for a very long time. And you right here, not looking forward to the bullcrap chess moves in 2023. Yeah, 322. Looking forward to you breaking them down. Though we appreciate you, brother. Thanks so much. I appreciate you so very much as well. And even though I'm busy, I got, a lot on my plate. I always try to find and make time for this, no matter how busy I am. And I appreciate for those that are supporters like you, those on Patreon, that they understand I can't put out content all the time like I would like to, and put out the content I wish I could all the time. I'm just under a situation where I only could cover certain things in a certain way. And I appreciate those that understand that. And I appreciate you, brother, because you contribute basically on every stream, like last stream, and it's greatly appreciated, brother, very, very much. Thank you so much. Yeah, that's something Rage 7520. I've actually covered the Committee of 300 before, a long, long time ago in a video. Thanks so much, and I appreciate that, Ramina. She goes, that's why we know you are legit. They live truth. You are one of us, not an actor, just someone with real passion for truth and an eagle. I appreciate that so very much. And, doing this as long as I have, there's these people, like I said, that come around and try to question me that basically have done nothing. They've done nothing but complain and cry in the corner, and they have not done any work at all. But it's like this: they're like critics, It's like someone that's, for example, they'll complain. They'll go to, for example, here's an analogy: they go to a pizza place and complain about pizza, but you ask them to make a pizza, they wouldn't know what to do or where to begin. For example, they're clueless and they want to act like they have a clue. They have no clue at all, and they come to conclusions based on conjecture, not fact. Like people that say, "Oh, I know where you live, so I gotta live somewhere." So I'm a shill because, quote, they know where I live. So you know where Biden lives, you know where Obama lives, you know where all these people live. So that means they're legit. That's just, people are just really dumb, and that, I hate to say that, but there's, if you're following the mainstream, you're dumb. But if there's a lot of people, unfortunately, in truth, that are not that sharp either. They jump from one line, now they're just deceiving themselves on many levels, and don't have time for that. Don't have time for that. Oh, thanks so much, Lori. Great to see you in here, and fantastic. She goes, hey, hate that I'm slowly, but better late than never. Happy Sunday. Thanks so much, Lori. I appreciate that. Another one that's another support that's been around for a long time, and thanks so much, Lori. I appreciate your support. Again, I don't remember exactly when, but it's been many years that you've been aboard, and I greatly appreciate you so very much, Lori. And happy Sunday once again to you. Yeah, that's funny. Yeah, I hate to say that, but ha ha ha. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, there's some people that are just paranoid. Again, they grab on very weak information to come to so-called solid conclusions, but don't need them around. They never brought anything to the table that will. Thanks, brother. I appreciate that once again. I see your comment there, Jason. No worries about the strong language, brother. All good. Oh, great to see you in there, RJ Money. Appreciate you, brother. He goes, RV, that zero gravity video was hilarious. Thanks for that one, brother. Yeah, absolutely. Those videos, I'm having a good time making those videos. I love making those videos because, especially like I said, when the European Space Agency likes to comment by someone says, "Oh, I love the screw drop." That's hilarious. It's like, yeah, we're gonna give a heart to the one person that gets it. They get it, and they're getting a heart because they understand. And everybody else saying we're doing a great job going to space and you guys are heroes, they're ignoring with the hearts and likes. But the one that gets it, he gets the big heart. That I think that's hilarious. They got a sense of humor. I give them that. All right, let's see what we got here. Yeah, Alex, he mentions Tosh. I'll put that video up again with Tosh O. And for those that don't know what I'm talking about, this comedian Tosh O on Comedy Central. There was this one segment where this guy, and of course it was all staged to play out that way, was asking about NASA and what does he think about NASA? And Tosh O responded, well, said something to the effect of, "Well, I don't think much of NASA, and actually, I don't think space even exists." And people laugh, and they don't get that it was staged to be put out that way. And I made a video saying, "Hey, Tosh O, his writers put the truth in plain sight about fake space." So I made a video about it, and their people saw the video because no one else covered that but me. And then like months later, they used my clip. They didn't mention me by name, but they said, "Oh, this guy here says space doesn't exist," and they played my video. So yeah, that was pretty funny. That was a while back. I think it was 2016 or 17. I forgot, but I was surprised. I was very surprised by that. Yeah, Jimmy, I know about that. I remember that. They're singing, yeah, and people don't even blink an eye. And Lori, again, I'm definitely going to have to play it back to stream and catch up. Hateful bad. No worries, Lori. All good. That's why there's the obviously the replay. So, and thanks so much once again for being here. And Ramina, you're welcome, and Lori is happy. All right, let's see what we got here. Oh, I didn't see that. Thanks for the heart there. You're very welcome, Lori. I appreciate that. All right, let's see what else we got here. All right, we're closing on 3 hours. I've been going on. Like I said, my attempt is to go about 3 hours because the 4 or 5 hour streams are very long and it's very hard, to keep up with the 4 or 5 hour live stream. So I'm probably going to close it out now. I got to get something to eat too. It's been going on for quite a while. But yeah, thanks everyone for tuning in. And the super chat once again. Let's see here. Let me scroll back up here. The one by Jason. Let me see here. I need to check something here real quick, and I apologize before I close out here. I want to make sure that let's see here. Hold on here. Let's see here. Yeah, Jimmy, I appreciate that. Jimmy Buchanan, and B Mill, and again, Jason410. I just want to double check on that. Thanks so much for the support, and everybody else too. It's very much appreciated, and definitely stay tuned as we move forward. Definitely I'm going to be putting up new content, mixing in older videos. Like I said, really important ones like the Polaris video, how the constellations work and all that with the flat Earth and the Big Dipper and all these other videos I put out over the years. There's lots of them, too many to even list. But yeah, moving forward, definitely going to put out when I have the time, when I have the chance, some new content. Touching upon the firmament, I want to make a video on the firmament, and the video game industry, and much more moving forward, and of course covering the latest nonsense in the world stage. And yeah, thanks again, everyone, for tuning in, to support, and just wherever you are, thanks so much for tuning in. And if you're listening to this after the fact, I appreciate you listening in. And also, if you can share this live stream, social media, wherever, Facebook, Twitter, share with family and friends, specifically, of course, the screen share aspect of this live stream. It's greatly appreciated. So once again, thanks again. Also to all the mods, Ramina, my main moderator, of course, and everybody else. So on that note, I'm going to let everybody know I'm signing off now. Take care. Until next time, God bless.